Chapter 725. However, he was still a little worried, mainly about the organization that Zhong Luchuan had mentioned. If he left and they sent people at the same level as the last time, Zhong Luchuan would not be able to deal with them. It would be a big problem. Wait a moment. He called Zhong Luchuan to the clinic and told him about his concerns. You can rest assured that this organization has a process, Zhong Luchuan said. If such a powerful trump card was lost, it means that the difficulty of the task has increased greatly. They will re-evaluate it, which requires a process. They will not send anyone over in the short term. How long is the short term? 1 month. All right, I'll be out for a week. I'll have to trouble you to take care of things here. Of course, sir. Take a good look at this book. Wang Yao handed him a book. Is this a medical book? Zhong Luchuan took it and was surprised. He wanted to learn kung fu, not medicine. The book focuses on the meridians and acupoints of the human body. You have to understand and memorize these things. If you want to learn kung fu, you have to understand your own body first, Wang Yao explained. Yes, sir. Okay, I will go home and tell my family, and then we will leave immediately, Wang Yao said to Miao Sanding, who was waiting anxiously. Okay, thank you, Miao Sanding said. Sure. After closing the clinic, Wang Yao went home and told his parents that he was leaving. Going on a long trip again? Yes, I have an appointment with a friend. I also want to go and have a look. During this time, you and my father shouldn't go out. If there's anything, wait for me to come back. Yes, I know. After informing his family, Wang Yao and Miao Sanding went directly to Dao City and took a plane to Hangzhou Province. Hangzhou Province, in the village at the foot of Ancient Tomb Mountain. Early in the morning, a few Taoists who had come down from Mount Longhu woke up very early and practiced martial arts in the courtyard. Their speed was very slow and their postures were somewhat strange. What kind of fist technique is this? Lu Sifang was confused. Taoist, is breakfast ready? The people of this mountain village were very hospitable, and the entire Hangzhou province respected the Taoists of Mount Longhu. Thank you. After breakfast, the 3 Taoists carefully checked the things they brought with them. After confirming that there was no problem, they were ready to go up the mountain. Lu Sifang followed behind. Apprentice nephew, you shouldn't go. The old Taoist stopped him. Lu Sifang was very happy when he heard that. He didn't want to go at all. That place had left a deep shadow in his heart. However, he thought of his senior brother. Martial uncle, I won't go up the mountain. I'll stay at the foot of the mountain. If you need anything, just give me a shout, he said through gritted teeth. Oh, that's good too, the old Taoist said with a smile, but the way he looked at Lu Sifang changed. Previously, he could see that this junior was actually very afraid of the ancient tomb. This was understandable. After all, almost everyone would be afraid of that kind of thing. But obviously, he was afraid but still dared to face it and did something that was within his ability. This was very rare. Take these 2 talismans and place them in front of your chest. As long as you don't get too close, there won't be a problem. He took out 2 talismans from his pocket and handed them to Lu Sifang. Oh, thank you, martial uncle. They set off. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the foot of the mountain. They first checked. The talismans at the foot of the mountain were still there. Then, they went up the mountain. The talismans in all directions of the shed were still there, but the color had turned yellow. It felt like only 1 night had passed, but it was as if 100 years had passed. Be careful. Yes, master. The 3 people carefully approached the shed. A Taoist took out a piece of talisman paper and stuck it outside the shed. The talisman paper immediately burned and turned into ashes in an instant. The old Taoist in the lead drew a strange talisman in the air. He then went into the shed first. The shed was still the same. Everything was there, but the Taoist who came here first was nowhere to be seen. In the tomb, the statue of the evil spirit still stood there quietly. Well, how could it be this thing? The old Taoist frowned. Master, there's blood. A Taoist pointed at the tomb. There was a line of blood that went all the way to the tomb door at the back of the tomb. It was then cut off by the tomb door. The evil spirit is in the way. The guardian Vajra? The old Taoist was not in a hurry to go down the tomb. Instead, he quietly looked at the tomb door on both sides of the tomb. There was a creak. The thick stone tomb door seemed to move. It opened a crack. The bells hanging from the waists of the Taoist priests began to ring, and they sounded very urgent. Whoosh! Outside the shed, 8 pieces of talisman paper in 8 directions suddenly burned and turned into ashes. A hand stretched out from behind the tomb. That is. The faces of the 2 younger Taoist priests were filled with shock. How is this possible? At the foot of the mountain, Lu Sifang was smoking and pacing back and forth. He looked up at the mountain from time to time. Lu Sifang, you are a big fool. Will you die if you don't talk? Last time it was the disciple. This time it is the master. There should be no problem, right? He reached out and touched the 2 talismans on his chest. Buddha bless, Bodhisattva bless, Taoist master bless, Tianzuan bless. In the shed, behind the tomb door, a small part of an arm stretched out. The arm was wrapped in a Taoist robe. It was the same Taoist robe as the 3 Taoist priests outside, but it was stained with a few drops of blood. Senior brother? Ah, the thing I was most worried about still happened. The old Taoist priest thought. Go. The old Taoist priest waved his hand. A piece of talisman paper flew out. It was like a flying knife. It accurately fell on the outstretched arm. The talisman paper burned as soon as it touched it. The arm stopped moving as if it had been fixed. It maintained the posture of wanting to open the tomb door from the inside. Crack! On the left side of the tomb door, a crack suddenly appeared on the statue of the demon-subduing Vajra, holding the Vajra pestle. Don't let it out. The old Taoist priest's face suddenly changed. Several pieces of talisman paper flew out one after another and fixed on the 4 corners of the tomb door. They immediately burned after touching it. The evil ghost blocked the people outside and did not let outsiders in. The Vajra guardian suppressed the devil inside and did not let the devil out. The tomb door could only be opened from the inside. Logically speaking, the thing inside should not wake up at all. However, an accident happened. At this time, the old Taoist priest suddenly understood. Crack! The tomb door moved again. There seemed to be a deep breathing sound coming from inside. Crack! The statue of the demon-subduing Arhat on the right also cracked. Can't it be sealed? Crack! The tomb door was pushed open with a gap of more than 10 centimeters. Behind the gap, a face and a pair of blood-red eyes could be vaguely seen. There was a scream. F***ck. Lu Sifang, who was at the foot of the mountain, threw down the cigarette in his hand and ran. After running a few steps, he stopped and looked back at the mountain. No one came down. Last time, only one was broken. Why are all 3 of them broken this time? His body kept trembling. He was afraid, but he gritted his teeth and decided to wait. In the shed, a Taoist priest fell to the ground, trembling as if he had been electrocuted. He woke up. The old Taoist priest untied the bell on his waist and pressed it on the head of his disciple. In an instant, the Taoist priest stopped trembling, and his eyes became clear again. Mind-calming spell, the old Taoist priest said. After he finished speaking, the 2 disciples next to him began to chant. It seems that I have to ask senior brother to come over. He quickly took out something from his bag. It was an ancient bronze mirror, engraved with complicated patterns and symbols. He turned the bronze mirror in his hand. Immediately, a beam of light shot out from the bronze mirror. It passed through the gap of the tomb door and directly hit the back of the figure behind the door. With a thud like a drumstick hitting the drum, the vague figure was directly hit and disappeared. The old Taoist then rushed down the tomb and sealed the door of the tomb with lightning speed. Then, He took out several talismans and pasted them on the door. However, each one he pasted on the door would burn. He muttered something, and when he pasted on the 12th talisman, it finally stopped burning. Then, his disciple who was still conscious came down to help. The master and disciple pasted a total of 81 talismans on the door of the tomb. Chapter 7:26. Let's go up. The master and apprentice left the tomb and went to the ground. The old Taoist let out a long sigh of relief. What he had done just now was quite exhausting. After resting for a while, he walked around the shed again. Get out, the old Taoist said. The three of them went out. He walked around outside again and then went back into the shed. He took the wooden sword from his back and waved it. With a crack, the roof of the shed was cut open. The wooden sword was very sharp. He cut a big hole in the roof of the shed. The sunlight shone through the hole and fell on the tomb door. Yes. After coming out of the shed, the old Taoist set up a battle array with talisman paper. Then, he took his 2 apprentices to do something. Hey, they are down! Hearing the sound and seeing the 3 people, Lu Sifong hurried to help them. The old Taoist and the old Taoist looked normal. They should be fine. The other Taoist's face was much worse. He was very pale. He was injured, but he could still walk. He was alive. Uncle, are you okay? I am fine, but my apprentice has some problems, the old Taoist replied. He will be fine in a few days. Come, let me help him. Brother, take a rest. Lu Sifong took the injured Taoist from the hands of the old Taoist. Uncle, has the problem been solved? The old Taoist asked. No, it is more serious than I thought, the old Taoist said. I just temporarily suppressed it. I think there will be no problem for 9 days. Suppressed? 9 days? What about after 9 days? The old Taoist asked. I will call my brother later and ask him to send more people here. I am afraid he will have to come in person, the old Taoist said. When they returned to the village, the old Taoist priest gave his senior brother a call. Soon it was noon. Is this Dragon Tiger Mountain? Wang Yao stood at the foot of the mountain, looking at the clouds and the green vegetation of the mountains. Of course, it was not comparable to the small Nanshan hill where he lived. Yes, let's go up the mountain, Miao Sanding said. He was very anxious. He was worried about the life of the Taoist who was in a coma. After all, when he left the mountain, the Taoist's situation was not very good. Okay. The 2 of them walked up the stairs. Hey, isn't there a Taoist temple over there? Wang Yao pointed at the first Taoist temple not far away. There is more than one Taoist temple on Mount Longhu. The air on the mountain was very fresh. Wang Yao could feel that the spiritual qi between heaven and earth was very rich. It was indeed a famous Taoist holy land since ancient times. Sure enough, there was more than one Taoist temple on the mountain. Along the way, Wang Yao saw 2 or 3. This was his first time here, so he didn't walk very fast. He took the opportunity to look at the scenery on both sides. This was a famous natural tourist attraction, a World Natural Heritage Site. They stopped outside a Taoist temple on the mountain. It's here. The location of this Taoist temple was actually rather remote. Presumably, there would be quite a few people coming here on a normal day. Wang Yao sighed softly. What is it? The location of this Taoist temple is a bit strange, Miao Ding said. You are an expert in this area. This Taoist temple has a history of hundreds of years, Miao Sanding said. When it was built, the location was chosen by the Taoist master at that time. Of course, it is different. Besides, Mount Longhu has always been a holy land of Taoism. It is a blessed place. There is no need to decorate it. After entering the Taoist temple, Miao Sanding said something to the Taoist priest there. Then, they went to see the headmaster together. Greetings, uncle. Good. As soon as the Taoist priest saw Wang Yao, his eyes were fixed on him as if he had seen a rare treasure. Impossible. Wang Yao didn't say anything. He just stood there quietly. Are you also a practitioner? The Taoist priest asked. Kind of? What level have you reached? The Taoist priest continued to ask. Well, I really don't know, Wang Yao said. It was not that he didn't want to answer, but he didn't know how to answer. He knew what level his cultivation had reached, but he didn't know how to distinguish the levels outside. Are you also practicing Taoism? The Taoist priest asked. Yes. The Natural Classics was originally a classic of Taoism. The Taoist priest was observing Wang Yao. Wang Yao was also observing him. He felt some familiar breath from the Taoist priest. The Taoist priest was also a practitioner. In some ways, he was the first real practitioner that Wang Yao had seen so far. Taoism's methods of practice were actually similar. They were quiet and inactive. They were close to nature. Uncle, last time my brother and I were injured, it was this Dr. Wang who cured us, Miao Sanding said. Oh, you also know the Qi Huang method? The Taoist priest asked. I am a pharmacist, Wang Yao said. Pharmacist? The Medicine King's branch? The Taoist priest was surprised. No. Oh, thank you, the Taoist priest said. Wang Yao went to the room where the Taoist priest was. The Taoist priest's breath was very weak. What? The Taoist priest's situation was much worse than Miao Sanding and Lu Sifang's. How is he? The Taoist priest asked. Very bad. He has reached the end of his life. Wang Yao just glanced at him and knew that the Taoist priest's situation was very dangerous. We don't need so many people. Okay, you can leave. Only the Taoist priest and Miao Sanding were left in the room. Wang Yao began to treat the Taoist priest. The first thing he needed to do was to get rid of the strange breath that could not be seen but could be felt. He stretched out his hands and made a gesture similar to pushing hands. Suddenly, a mellow neishi was released through his hands. It covered the patient's body like a bell. The neishi began to flow under his control, melting the cold breath of the Taoist priest. What is this? The Taoist priest was shocked. It was as if he saw the dead Taoist priest standing in front of him again. The neishi of Taoism. He could feel a stream of pure inner breath flowing around. He was a practitioner, so he knew what it meant. It is very difficult to practice the neishi of Taoism. I am afraid that only 1 out of 100 practitioners can do it. It is even rarer to release neishi. It means that the bridge between heaven and earth has been opened and one can communicate with heaven and earth. The cold breath of the injured Taoist priest had been removed, but the problem was far from solved. He had been injured for a long time. When he was injured, he was seriously injured. The delay during this time had caused his body to be eroded. It was the same everywhere in his body. Wang Yao first fed him a 9 herbs pill and then wrote down a prescription for him. Get the herbs according to the prescription. Okay. The Taoist priest immediately arranged people to go down the mountain to get the herbs. Some of the herbs were in the Taoist temple. Almsgiver, what about his illness? His life is not in danger now, but he needs further treatment. That's good. Almsgiver, can we talk in private? Okay. The Taoist priest invited Wang Yao to the backyard of the Taoist temple. Almsgiver, have you been able to communicate with heaven and earth? The Taoist priest asked directly. Yes, I don't know what you mean by communicating with heaven and earth, Wang Yao said. Calling the wind and summoning the rain? Ha, of course not, the Taoist priest said. Man is a part of heaven and earth. But there are people who are independent of heaven and earth. People who practice Taoism understand heaven and earth, merge with heaven and earth, and communicate with heaven and earth. Are you talking about this? Wang Yao released his neishi outside his body. Yes. The Taoist priest said happily. I didn't expect to see such a state in my life. It's a blessing. Wang Yao immediately asked some questions. In the past, he had practiced alone and had never come into contact with other people in this field. He explored alone. Today, he finally met a cultivator. Some of his thoughts and questions were asked. The Taoist priest patiently answered them one by one. It was only then that Wang Yao realized that his solo exploration of this path had unknowingly brought him to the top of the mountain, where all the other mountains were small. Almsgiver, you are a man of great fortune, the Taoist priest praised. Yes. Wang Yao felt that he was indeed so. God really doted on him. I still have some things to do and need to go down the mountain. Almsgiver, why don't you take a look around here? The scenery on Dragon Tiger Mountain is beautiful. It's worth walking around. Are you going to the ancient tomb? Yes, my brother has already taken 2 disciples down the mountain. They have encountered some trouble and need my help. Can I go and have a look? Wang Yao said. Chapter 727. Of course, no problem, Zhang Sihing said with a smile. Zhang Meng and his 3 disciples went down the mountain. Wang Yao and Miao Sanding followed behind. In a mountain village hundreds of miles away from Dragon Tiger Mountain, the old Taoist, his 2 disciples, and Lu Sifang were waiting at a house at the foot of the mountain. Some villagers who knew something came to ask, Taoist master, has the thing on the mountain been removed? It has been suppressed and needs to be dealt with, the old Taoist master said. Oh, there had been 2 waves of Taoist masters from Dragon Tiger Mountain. In the first wave, there was even one person who did not come down from the mountain. This made the villagers very worried. Some people even gave up their jobs and went to work in the field. They were ready to move out of the mountain village. Uncle, what is in the ancient tomb? Lu Sifang asked curiously. You can think of it as evil spirits, the old Taoist master replied. Evil spirits? Is there really such things in the world? You have experienced it yourself. Do you still doubt it? The old Taoist master took a sip of tea. Today's trip to the mountain seemed to be more dangerous than dangerous. In fact, there were many dangers. The things in the tomb were beyond his imagination. Fortunately, he had brought the treasures from the mountain before he came. Otherwise, if he really came out unprepared, the 3 of them would not have been able to deal with it. Now, he could only wait for the brothers on the mountain to come and bring the treasures from the Taoist temple. At this time, Wang Yao and several Taoist masters from Dragon Tiger Mountain were on the way to the mountain village in a car. Taoist master, what is this? Wang Yao pointed to a sword made of ancient coins carried by the headmaster. This is the demon-subduing sword, the old Taoist master said. It looks a bit old. It has a history of more than 400 years since the Ming dynasty, the old Taoist master said. Is this sturdy? Wang Yao looked at the copper coins that were connected by something. He did not know what they were made of. He felt that they were not very sturdy. They are sturdy. These copper coins are made with a special secret method. They are flexible and tough, and they are checked and replaced regularly. Oh, what is the principle of demon subduing? It is all on these ancient copper coins, the old Taoist master said. They have been blessed by the Taoist masters of the past generations. After a long time in the Taoist temple, they have spiritual energy. Just like in the movies. Hee, not all of them. The old Taoist laughed. After a few hours of driving, they arrived at the mountain village and met up with the old Taoist priest. Senior apprentice brother. Junior brothers, are you all right? I'm fine. Little he is a little injured. It's not a big deal. That's good, the sect leader said. Oh, this is pharmacist Wang. He came here to help. Lin Feng's life is no longer in danger. Taoist priest. Very well. Are you also a cultivator? Sort of. After meeting one by one, the 2 groups of 7 Taoists began to discuss how to get rid of the demon in the ancient tomb. Wang Yao quietly listened to them. Evil spirit? Is there really such a thing in this world? He really wanted to see what the so-called evil spirit looked like. Even so, we should use the demon-subduing mirror to suppress it, and then use the demon-subduing sword to get rid of it. That's right. I think so too. It seemed to be very simple in theory, but it seemed to be very dangerous in action. This time, they had to go deep into the tomb. It's late today. Junior brother and I will go to the mountain later to have a look. We will go to the tomb tomorrow to get rid of the demon. Okay. After discussing the countermeasures, they began to divide the work. When the two old Taoists went out, Wang Yao followed them. Benefactor, this demon is beyond the imagination of ordinary people, and its methods are very strange. You must not act rashly later, Zhang Xiheng said as they walked. Okay, I will listen to your arrangements, Wang Yao said. They arrived at the foot of the mountain. Wang Yao looked up at the mountain. It was very beautiful, but there was an indescribable aura. The closer he got, the stronger the feeling. The shed stood there quietly. Wang Yao found that the trees and rocks around the shed were covered with talismans. He went forward to take a closer look. This was the first time he had seen such a thing. It was very novel. This is an ancient method passed down. The old Taoist walked up to him and introduced it. Can ordinary people draw it? The materials used to draw the talismans are very particular, Wang Yao said. There are also other requirements. Ordinary people draw it at most similar in appearance, but without the essence. At this time, even on Dragon Tiger Mountain, there are only 10 people who really know how to draw talismans. As for proficiency, as far as I know, there are only 5 people. Let's go in and have a look. Okay. The 3 of them entered the shed. It was still the scene when the archaeologists evacuated. Some tools were not even taken away in time and were placed in the corner. Wang Yao's eyes were attracted to the corner of the tomb that had been excavated. The evil spirit in the tomb was carved very lifelike and looked ferocious. Further behind the tomb door was covered with talismans. The color of the talismans was very yellow. It was the kind of yellow that had experienced the passage of time. The things inside are really not ordinary, Zhang Xiheng said when he saw the scene. Yes, it has become like this in just 2 days, Wang Yao said. There were 81 talismans drawn by himself. It was not the work of a day. Does he have to come out from the tomb door? Can't he come out from other places? Wang Yao asked curiously. He can't come out, the old Taoist explained. The designer of the tomb originally wanted to seal the things inside. Compared to the surroundings, the tomb was piled up with thick stones. Tomb robbers can't break it open. The tomb of the Ming dynasty has been here for more than 400 years. What can survive for so long? This was also what Wang Yao was most curious about. Resentment, the old Taoist who came first said after thinking for a moment. Resentment? What kind of person's resentment is so heavy that it doesn't dissipate after 400 years? Maybe it doesn't want to dissipate, or maybe it's too heavy to dissipate. We'll know when the tomb is open tomorrow. The 2 old Taoists were still not at ease. They checked the surroundings of the tomb again, and set up some things before going down the mountain. That night, the group of people stayed in the mountain village. That night, the police in the county town also came. The team leader saw Zhang Xiheng very respectfully. Taoist master. Ah, you can't call me that. Just call me old Taoist. Of course not, the team leader hurriedly said. It could be seen that their respect for the Taoists from Dragon Tiger Mountain came from the bottom of their hearts. Taoist master, how do you need us to cooperate this time? No one is allowed to go up the mountain. Okay. We'll take action tomorrow. I'll report to the station right away. The mountain will be closed tomorrow morning. All right, thank you for your trouble. You're welcome. The team leader left 2 policemen and a car and hurried back. He had other things to do. Taoist master, is this not the first time you've worked together? We worked together once before, Zhang Xiheng said. Also a ghost? Well, kind of. What was it then? Well, a wandering ghost. Zhang Xiheng thought for a moment and said, It's not as troublesome as this time. Nothing happened that night. Early the next morning, Many policemen came to the mountain village and directly closed the mountain. Is this appropriate? Wang Yao asked. Yes, Zhang Xiheng said. If we can't handle it and there is a problem, then the people here will have to evacuate. Is it that serious? If these things are not handled properly, it will cause very terrible consequences. After all, conventional means and methods can't deal with them, such as swords and guns. Brother, we're ready. Okay, let's go up the mountain. Wang Yao went up the mountain with the Taoists. Miao Sanding and Lu Sifang stayed at the foot of the mountain as usual, but this time they had more partners with them. They were the people's police. Brother, why does a doctor like him go up? Lu Sifang asked. He's not just a doctor, Miao Sanding said. I hope this time he can completely solve the problem. He had seen Wang Yao's medical skills, but he didn't know about his other skills. Judging from the attitude of the Taoist master on Dragon Tiger Mountain, Miao Sanding guessed that Wang Yao had other skills. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked to talk to Miao Sanding alone and treated him differently from ordinary people. Chapter 728. I hope it can be completely solved this time, Miao Sanding said. I hope so too. I've been here long enough. I'm scared. Lu Sifang lit a cigarette. Didn't you quit? Don't you know me? I always want to smoke when I'm nervous, Lu Sifang said. You don't have to accompany me here. We're brothers. Don't be so courteous. Just like what you said just now, I hope that everything will go smoothly this time and get rid of that trouble once and for all. What kind of person do you think is in that ancient tomb? It's been more than 400 years, yet there's still resentment and it's so powerful. I should ask you, Miao Sanding said. Aren't you an archaeologist? Hey, you don't know me yet. I've only been an archaeologist for less than half a year. I haven't even finished my apprenticeship yet. Besides, I haven't even seen a single thing inside. It's impossible to deduce the identity of the tomb owner. They should have entered the shed, right? Yes, it's about time. On the mountain, outside the shed. According to the plan we discussed beforehand, we must be careful. Yes, Master. Yes, Martial Uncle. Benefactor, what do you think? Don't worry, just as we agreed before, I won't cause you any trouble. I'll just watch quietly. All right. The Taoist priests were divided into two groups. One group stayed above, while the other two old Taoists went down the tomb. Will he be all right? Martial Uncle and Martial Uncle entered the tomb personally. Nothing will happen. A younger Taoist said. You, on the other hand. He didn't finish his sentence, but his meaning was clear. You're just an outsider who doesn't know anything. Aren't you just causing trouble by following us into this tomb? At the back of the tomb, the stone door was still covered with talismans, but they had already turned yellow, as if they had been roasted by fire. Open! As he said earlier, the door to the tomb was difficult to open from the outside. However, this was not the first time the two celestial masters had encountered such a situation. Creak! The tomb was pushed open by a skinny old Taoist. He is indeed a cultivator. He has kung fu. The real Taoist priests of Mount Longhu were not like those on TV who only knew how to put on a show by shaking a bell and chanting incantations that others could not understand. These were real cultivators. They knew martial arts and Taoist technique. They cultivated quietly in the depths of the mountains and continued the legacy that had been passed down for hundreds of years. There were very few people who could do things that ordinary people could not imagine in this day and age. The door of the tomb was pushed open and the two old Taoists entered the tomb. The light inside was very dim. Through the open tomb door, Wang Yao could see that there was another tomb path inside. It was different from the ones outside. This tomb path wasn't straight. Instead, it was slanted downwards, leading all the way to the underground. I'll go down and have a look. Benefactor. The Taoist priest next to him was unable to stop him. When he raised his head again, he found that the other party was already at the tomb door. This is shrinking earth into an inch. The Taoist priests were shocked when they saw this. They originally thought that it would be troublesome, but they didn't expect the other party to be so capable. Senior brother? Ignore him. Don't mess up the formation. Yes. Wang Yao entered the tomb path. Hiss, how did you come in? Zhang Siheng asked. I came in to take a look. Don't worry, I'm fine. Wang Yao released his Neishi to form a defense with no blind spots. There was a 3-foot wall of qi around him, just like the nameless old monk who swept the floor in the novel. This is... The two old Taoists were shocked. The Xiantian Qi of Xianmen sect. No wonder he dared to take the initiative to go up the mountain and enter the tomb. With this protection, no evil could enter. Sigh. The old Taoist sighed. Junior brother, calm down and condense your qi. Senior brother is right. The two of them continued to move forward. They no longer cared about Wang Yao. They knew that with his ability, the things in the tomb couldn't get close to him no matter how terrifying they were. That was the Dharma of Xianmen sect, comparable to the golden body of Buddhism. The tomb was very cold. It was as if they had entered an ice cellar. The tomb path went down for more than 10 meters, and then there was another tomb door, but this tomb door had already been opened. There was also a Buddhist Vajra statue on it, but it was already broken, and cracks like a spider web did not cover the 2 stone doors. How did he open these 2 stone doors? Wang Yao was very curious. The stone door was 10 centimeters thick. It weighed at least 500 kilograms. Even a strong man might not be able to move it, let alone the invisible ghosts. Be careful, Zhang Siheng said. One of them was holding a sword, while the other was holding a bronze mirror. Both of them were holding a lantern that was burning with an unknown fuel. Ah! A low voice came from the tomb behind the door. Let's go. The two of them entered the tomb. The tomb was in the shape of a semicircle. There were statues standing around. Looking carefully, they were the 18 arhats of Buddhism. They were the size of a real person. However, the arhats were cracked. Some of their heads even fell to the ground. There was a stone coffin in the middle. The lid of the coffin had been opened. Did they come back to life? He looked up at the top of the tomb. It was an arc-shaped dome. There were Buddhist statues on it. So many Vajra arhats. Who the hell is inside? A figure suddenly appeared and pounced on Zhang Siheng. He held the demon-subduing sword in his hand. There was a flash of golden light. The figure was then sent flying. Junior brother. The other Taoist priest flipped the bronze mirror in his hand. A light shot out and shone on a place. There was a sizzling sound. Damn. This is too unreal. Wang Yao, who was behind them, sighed. This was as good as the movie. In the cave, the cold aura became heavier. The bells hanging on the waists of the 2 old Taoists kept ringing. Over there. Wang Yao pointed. The old Taoist priest flipped the bronze mirror in his hand. Then, a beam of light shot out and shone on a black figure. The figure was immediately frozen. It was a Taoist priest in a Taoist robe. His face was frighteningly dark and his eyes were bloodshot. Ha ha. He was laughing. Why was he laughing? Buzz. The bronze mirror trembled and the light disappeared. On the other side, Wang Yao pointed. Another beam of light froze the Taoist priest. Go. Zhang Siheng held the demon-subduing sword and rushed over. He covered a distance of several meters in an instant and slashed the body of the Taoist priest. Out. There was a strange cry. The Taoist priest broke free again. Is that all you've got? Wang Yao suddenly punched the air. With a bang, the black figure was sent flying and fell heavily on the wall. Junior brother. The copper mirror in the old Taoist's hand suddenly flew out and hit the figure. Then, the figure fell to the ground. Zhang Siheng quickly went forward and pierced the body with the demon-subduing sword in his hand. He did not think that the person was a disciple of the mountain. This matter did not allow him to hesitate. Silence. It's over? No! Creak. There was another sound. Walla. What was the sound of something moving? A stone coffin. The three of them looked back and saw a person sitting up in the stone coffin. It was a person in armor. Damn, the corpse came to life. Wang Yao sighed. He was not afraid. He sighed from the bottom of his heart. Until now, he had never seen or heard of such things. The things in TV, movies, and novels were not necessarily lies. Crack. The Arhat statues on both sides shattered one by one. Ring. The bells on the waists of the two old Taoists were ringing impatiently. It seemed to be reminding them to leave. Senior brother? I didn't expect the corpse to not rot. Zhang Sihing's face changed. Go. The bronze mirror flew out and hit the body of the monster. With a bang, it fell down. Then, the monster slowly sat up. What the hell is this thing? Wang Yao took a few steps forward and saw its face. It was like a mummy. There was a layer of skin outside the bones. The wrinkled skin looked particularly scary. Why can't it still move? Why? Not only could it move, but it also stood up. A zombie? Almsgiver, be careful. The monster that stood up suddenly attacked Wang Yao, who was closest to it. Its speed was frightening. Chapter 729. Go back. Wang Yao punched the air. With a loud bang, the monster that jumped out was sent flying by Wang Yao. It flew back the way it came and hit the wall. The sound of its armor colliding with the hard wall could be heard. A martial arts master? The two old Taoists looked at each other. What is this? Wang Yao asked as he looked at the thing. It's dead but not dead. A zombie. It's an eye-opener today, Wang Yao said. I got to see the scenery. He didn't feel the slightest bit of fear, because through his observation and contact, he found that this monster's means were just so, unable to pose an effective threat to him. How do we get rid of it? Stab its heart with the demon-subduing sword, Zhang Sihing said. But this zombie has a physical form, and its cultivation is extraordinary. The demon-subduing mirror may not be able to suppress it. It would be fine if it was an ordinary formless ghost, but this kind of ghost with a physical form would greatly reduce the demon-subduing mirror's ability to restrain it. Do we need to freeze it? Yes. Can't we just break its limbs? In theory, it's possible, but after hundreds of years of yin-qi corrosion, it is now a zombie, harder than copper and iron, Zhang Sihing explained. Let me try. Be careful. Wang Yao stepped in front of the zombie that had just got up. The rancid smell was unbearable. More importantly, it was very ugly, shockingly ugly. If this face appeared at night, it would probably scare people to death. The neishi flowed like a river. Fist. The air-breaking fist. The fist broke the air. A punch landed on the zombie's chest. With a cracking sound, the zombie's chest caved in. Then, the zombie's body was sent flying again, crashing heavily into the wall behind him. The impact even caused cracks to appear on the wall of the tomb that was completely made of hard rock. What a domineering fist! The two old Taoists exclaimed. The zombie stretched out its arm. It was very fast and went straight for Wang Yao's heart. Break. Wang Yao blocked with both hands. With a crisp crack, the arm immediately responded. It was as fragile as a wafer cake. What was harder than copper and iron? The two old Taoists were stunned. Could it be that they were mistaken? Was it because these zombies were not strong enough, or was it because this young man's cultivation was too high that they were too arrogant? It was a complete suppression. This thing's attacks were completely based on instinct, and there was no pattern to speak of. After a short while, Wang Yao broke all of the zombie's limbs, and it fell to the ground. All right. The rest seemed to be much simpler. Zhang Sihing stabbed the demon-subduing sword into the zombie's heart. It struggled a few times before its body stopped moving. Then, it began to sink in at a speed visible to the naked eye, like melted butter. However, it emitted a nauseating smell. During this process, Wang Yao witnessed the magic of the demon-subduing sword. The old Taoist did not seem to use much force, but this sword that was obviously not suitable for piercing or cutting actually pierced into the zombie's heart as easily as a knife cutting through butter. Huh! Just when Wang Yao thought the matter was over, he felt a unique aura emerge from the zombie's body and enter the stone coffin. It's done. Zhang Sihing breathed a sigh of relief. Almsgiver, your cultivation is really amazing. This was like the Yangtze River, where the rear waves surpassed the front waves, and the front waves were smashed to death on the beach. You flatter me, Taoist master, Zhang Sihing said. I feel that there is something strange in this stone coffin. Well, just in case, let's go take a look. At this point, they were still very careful and slowly approached the coffin. The lid of the stone coffin had been completely opened, and there was a strange metal object in the shape of a pagoda. It was engraved with complicated spells. What is this thing? This is called the Soul Pagoda. Soul Pagoda? What is it used for? It suppresses the soul and prevents it from doing evil. After listening, Wang Yao looked at it carefully, then reached out to the Soul Pagoda. Almsgiver, you can't. Zhang Sihing hurriedly stopped him. What? There is a curse on it, Zhang Sihing said. If you touch it rashly, I'm afraid something bad will happen. Curse? Is it referring to the different auras that I feel? Wang Yao could feel that there was a very unique aura on the pagoda, which made people very uncomfortable. It was more uncomfortable than the coldness in the tomb. That aura should have gone in. Wang Yao thought for a moment, then reached out to hold the demon pagoda. Buzz. The pagoda trembled, and then the cold aura prevailed. Ring, ring. The bells on the two old Taoists' bodies rang again. Oh no. Let go! It's fine. Wang Yao gestured for them to calm down. He released his neishi and formed a closed round bell, covering the exquisite and strange, demon-subduing pagoda. In an instant, the aura that made the two old Taoists very vigilant, as if they were facing a great enemy, disappeared, and the bells on their waists stopped ringing. Why is that? Wang Yao asked. Xianmen Gangqi isolated its aura, Zhang Sihing said. Is this an antique? Wang Yao asked. Yes, it has been more than 400 years of history, Zhang Sihing said. Unfortunately, it has been contaminated by ghosts. It was originally used to suppress souls, but it had been used to help the ghost. In other words, the resentment had not dissipated after 400 years, and it had become more and more powerful. Wang Yao's neishi was refined and pure. It could be soft and yin, but it could also be strong and yang. The exchange of yin and yang depended on the heart. At this time, the neishi he released was strong and yang, which happened to be the nemesis of these things. The aura hidden in the pagoda was like a piece of ice hidden in an iron bucket, but there was a fire outside. It could not hide for a while. Since it could not hide, it rushed out, but the consequences of rushing out were even more terrible. In an instant, more than half of it was melted by the pure yang aura, so it went in. Wang Yao held the soul barricade pagoda and quietly operated his neishi. He was constantly dissolving the aura hidden in it. His neishi was trying to penetrate the pagoda and seep into the pagoda through the gaps like flowing water. In the end, the aura couldn't even put up a fight before it was completely melted away. It was done. He felt that the Na Dao aura inside had completely disappeared, so he withdrew his neishi. Is it done? Zhang Sihing asked tentatively. It should be done, Wang Yao said. At this moment, although there was still the cold yin qi in the tomb, it was not so terrible. The source had been eliminated. These things were like water without a source and would soon disappear. That's good, that's good. I didn't expect that your cultivation was so powerful, Zhang Sihing said with a smile. This time, we two old Taoists have become your helpers. You flatter me, Wang Yao said. It was just a coincidence. This contact gave Wang Yao another layer of insight, which was very rare. It might be something that he could not learn or comprehend even if he stayed on Nanshan Hill for another 10 years. After solving the problem, they came to the body of the Taoist priest. He had completely lost his breath. He had been dead for many days, but his body was used by the ghost. "This is my disciple," Wang Yao said. "His name is He Heng. He was very talented and was willing to work hard. What a pity." "Junior brother, don't be too sad," Wang Yao said. "Now that things have come to this, you need to get over it." "Yes, senior brother," Wang Yao said. In fact, people like them usually had nothing to do and just meditated on the mountain. If they really encountered a problem, it was related to life and death. If they were careless, the result could be death, like the Taoist priest on the ground. "Shall we go out?" "You two Taoists go first," Wang Yao said. "I still want to have a look inside." "Then we'll stay here with you," Wang Yao said. The aura in the tomb was not too turbid. It was unknown whether it was because of the clever design of the tomb or because the door was open. Even so, ordinary people could not stand it. Wang Yao was not an ordinary person, and the two Taoists were not either. However, he could see that the two old Taoists' bodies had some adverse reactions. Their breathing was a little rapid. Wang Yao quickly walked around and looked at the carvings on the wall. They were all stories of Buddhist enchantment. They did not even have any enlightenment. "Let's go out, Taoist priest." "Okay." Chapter 730. The two Taoist masters were in front, and Wang Yao was behind them. He was carrying the soul-suppressing pagoda, which was quite heavy. Outside the tomb, the Taoist masters were a little anxious. "Senior, Master and Uncle Master have been in there for a while. Will there be any accidents?" "What accidents can there be? Master and Uncle Master's cultivation is so high. We just have to wait here quietly." As soon as they finished speaking, they heard a sound in the tomb. The Taoist masters outside were on alert. "Master, Uncle Master." Seeing that it was their elders who came out, they were relieved. "Well, the thing inside is out," Zhang Xiheng said. "Master is really amazing. It's not me, it's this benefactor." He smiled and pointed at Wang Yao. "Hey, Taoist Master, I'm just helping." Wang Yao smiled and waved his hand. "Helping? Haha, then what are the two of us? Let's go." The Taoist masters left the shed. "The aura here is still not very comfortable." Wang Yao stopped. Then he suddenly waved his hand. The wind came. Whoosh, whoosh. The wind blew, blowing this part of the world. Calling the wind and summoning the rain? The Taoist masters were shocked. "Benefactor, you know Taoist magic?" Zhang Xiheng exclaimed. "This is not Taoist magic. There is wind in the mountain. I just added fuel to the fire." He communicated his neishi with this part of the world, and then pushed the aura of this part of the world to flow faster. That was all. Haha, is this still not counted? The group of people at the foot of the mountain saw that they had safely gone down the mountain and hurriedly responded. "Taoist Master, is it done?" "Fortunately, it's done." That's good, that's good." They didn't talk much about what had happened on the mountain. They only mentioned a little. The two old Taoist masters didn't even mention the amazing things Wang Yao had done in the tomb. This was what Wang Yao had specifically asked them to do when they went down the mountain. "All right, now that the matter here has been resolved, it's time for me to go back," Wang Yao said. Now that the matter here had been resolved, the Taoist priest's life was no longer in danger and he was recovering. Wang Yao left behind a prescription for him to take the medicine regularly. "If there is any problem, you can ask him to find me in the mountain village." Wang Yao gave the address of his clinic to Zhang Xiheng. "Thank you," Zhang Xiheng said sincerely. "If you need any help from us in the future, just let us know." "Okay." Before leaving, the old Taoist gave Wang Yao a bell, which was exactly the same as the one hanging on their waists. "This can be considered a token of our lineage. Benefactor, take it." If it's inconvenient for you, you can also find someone to pass on a message. Okay. Hey, Taoist priest, that Seoul pagoda is made of pure gold, right? Wang Yao suddenly asked with a smile. Yes. Benefactor, do you want it? Are you kidding? It belongs to the country. Wang Yao waved his hand with a smile. Haha, if you like it, you can take it back and play with it for a while, the old Taoist priest said with a smile. This pagoda will be temporarily handled by Mount Longhua. Ah, why? Wang Yao asked. Because it is still unstable and has a safety hazard, the old Taoist priest said. This is my suggestion. They accepted it. After hearing this, Wang Yao realized that the old Taoist priest in front of him was much more powerful than he had imagined. Not only in terms of cultivation, but it seemed that the old Taoist priest had a special status. Goodbye. Have a safe trip. Miao Sanding and Lu Sifang walked him to the plane. Thank you so much this time, Miao Sanding said. This time, because of them, several people had died. This time, it was finally resolved. It was also thanks to Wang Yao. From the conversation with the uncle of Mount Longhua, he could tell that the uncle was full of praise for Wang Yao. You are welcome. Visit the mountain village when you have time. Okay, certainly. Wang Yao took the plane directly to Dao alone. Zhang Siheng and his junior brother brought their disciples back to Mount Longhu, bringing the soul-suppressing pagoda with them. Senior, is it really okay to take this thing up the mountain? It is okay, Zhang Siheng said. You can rest assured. I don't know which master's disciple is, the old Taoist priest said. He has reached such a level at such a young age. Haha, this is the so-called talent, the old Taoist priest said. Senior, does the soul-suppressing tower have any magical effects? It has a magical effect, Zhang Siheng said. It helps with cultivation. At the beginning, the tower was contaminated by the ghost and could not be used. Now, it had been purified by Wang Yao with the purest qi. Perhaps Wang Yao did not realize that there was still a part of his qi left in the tower. This was why the old Taoist priest insisted on bringing the tower back. Xianmen qi was not an ordinary thing. Taoists regarded it as a treasure. If we can study it, we may be able to break through the barrier, the old Taoist priest said. In fact, Wang Yao had already broken through the barrier in their eyes. People who practiced Taoism did not care about things like money, but these things were really tempting. Well, Senior has thought far ahead. It was already past 7 p.m. when the plane arrived in Dao. After getting off the plane, Wang Yao found a hotel to stay in. Shall I go out for a walk? Seeing that it was not too late, Wang Yao went out of the hotel and walked around. Although Dao was close to the sea in summer, it was still hot. Fortunately, there was a sea breeze at night at this time, so it was not so hot and uncomfortable. At this time of summer, there were food stalls and barbecue everywhere. When Wang Yao went out, it was almost 9 p.m. There were still many people eating by the roadside. Dao was close to the sea, so there were many seafood stalls. He did not eat much, so he chose a place that looked clean, ordered a few dishes, and ate alone. Come, drink. The people at the table next to him were shirtless and drinking happily. Have you been busy recently? Busy my ass, I quit. I'm at home taking care of the children. Why did you quit? Lay off. Hey, that company is also laying off people. Don't mention it. The original boss was very good, but now there has been a change. The new young boss made the policy. In my opinion, Sun Jingrong is very good. Yes, hey, I heard that the young man is the son of a leader. He is very greedy. It seems that he has something on the Sun family. Is that so? But in Dao, their reputation is quite good. Hey, aren't businessmen all mercenary? Besides, the Sun family is also involved in real estate. How can they not cause trouble when they demolish? It's impossible. The speaker did not mean it, but it was meaningful to listen. Wang Yao remembered what they said. Dao, Sun Jingrong. Chapter 731. The Sun family had helped him a lot. Now, it seemed that they were in trouble. It was reasonable for him to help them. Wang Yao wanted to hear more, but the man did not say anything more about this matter. Instead, he went directly to another topic. Well, it seems that I'll have to stay here for 2 more days. After eating, he returned to the hotel. At night, he called Zhong Luchuan. After confirming that there was no problem in the mountain village, he was relieved. Sir, there have been a few foreigners coming to see you these days, Zhong Luchuan said. The same group of people came twice in a row. It seems that their identities are not ordinary. They haven't been to my house, have they? Zhong Luchuan asked. No, they seem to know your rules, Zhong Luchuan said. Well, I see. Thank you, Zhong Luchuan said. I've come back from Hangzhou in Dao. There are some things that need to be delayed. I'll probably be back the day after tomorrow. Got it. The next morning, the temperature outside was very hot. In the past few days, the temperature in Qi province had been continuously high. It was said that it would continue for more than 10 days. Even though Dao was close to the sea, it was only a few degrees lower than the mainland. Overall, it was relatively hot. Wang Yao went directly to a place in Dao, which was a more eye-catching bar. Such a place was usually more lively at night. People went to work during the day and came to drink and sing at night to release their stress. If they were lucky, they could have a romantic encounter and have a romantic night. The bar was empty at this time. Only the bar waiter was lying on the bar and yawning. I'm so sleepy. Seeing a guest, the waiter forced himself to smile and ask, Hello, what would you like to drink? I'm looking for your boss. The boss is still sleeping, the waiter said. What can I do for you? Business. What kind of business? The waiter asked. Business in words. Wait a moment. The waiter's eyes lit up. He immediately became energetic and made a phone call. Okay, I got it. Please come with me. The waiter took Wang Yao to a private room. Please wait a moment, the waiter said. Our boss will be here soon. What would you like to drink? It's free. No, thank you. After a while, a man in his 30s hurried into the private room. Sorry, I was busy just now, the man said with a smile. I'm fine. She could smell the strong perfume on his body. His footsteps were a little shaky when he arrived, and there were dark circles under his eyes. He was indeed very busy. He probably didn't have a good rest last night. First time here. Yes, a friend introduced me. You don't look familiar. What do you want? The man took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and handed one to Wang Yao. No, thank you. He lit one for himself and took a long drag. It's about the Sun family. Sun family? That Sun family? The man's expression changed slightly. The biggest Sun family in Dao. Is it revenge or gratitude? He asked after a moment of silence. Is there a difference? Of course there's a difference. If it's revenge, then I'm sorry. Let's pretend that you didn't come today. I didn't see you, and you didn't see me. If it's to repay a debt of gratitude, then let's continue. Consider it repaying the debt of gratitude. Then we can continue chatting, the man said. What do you want to know? What kind of trouble have they had recently? I can answer that. Let's talk about the price. The man stretched out 2 fingers. 200? Cough, cough, cough. That's the price of a glass of wine outside. 2,000 up. Sure, go ahead. Well, my rule here is to pay the general deposit on the spot. Okay. Wang Yao directly transferred the money to him. Got it. The boss became more polite after receiving the money. Let me think about it. What should I say? The boss thought carefully. The Sun family has a big business. You know that? Yes, of course. With such a big business, there are naturally many people who want it, but they also have someone above them. You know, this is common in society now. They all find a big tree to lean on. I understand. Well, according to the information I know, the big boss behind the Sun family has retired. He has less power to speak. When someone goes down, there will naturally be someone to go up. Coincidentally, the one who went up previously had a conflict with the one who retired. In fact, the Sun family was implicated because of this. It was completely an undeserved disaster. There was no other way. The businessmen couldn't fight against the officials, so they could only bow their heads. What's their surname? Their surname is Ho. Ho? I haven't heard of it. Well, you know about it? This time, it was the boss's turn to be surprised. I don't know, but I have heard of a few families in Jing. Tell me about them. The Su family. The Su family? That's a first-class wealthy family in Jing. Elder Su is still alive. The Su family now has 2 ministers, 1 and 1 deputy, and both are departments with real power. Moreover, they have a marriage alliance with the Song family. It can be said that they have no worries for the next 20 years. In Jing, they are not the first or second best, but they are almost there. Are they that powerful? Wang Yao was surprised. He was dating Su Xiaoxue. He also knew that the Su family was prominent, but to what extent it was prominent, he really didn't know. He didn't ask too much. Of course, do you know people from the Su family? I know a few of them. Really? Let's put this matter aside first and continue with my question. You have heard of those families? The Guo family. Haha, the number 2 person in the province is the person who is carrying the tripod at this time, Wang Yao said. The one who can go further is naturally everyone. What else? It seems that there is also the Wu family. Wu, I know. That Director Wu and Director General Wu are also considered rich. How is the Ho family compared to these 3 families? Well, a little bit worse than the Wu family. A little bit worse? What is the Sun family afraid of? The boss was stunned. Sai, I really don't know anything about this. Do you think that rich and powerful families can be found everywhere? That Ho family's position just happens to be able to control the Sun family. It's like hitting a snake where it hurts, the boss said with a smile. Is there someone from the Ho family here? How did it become a question and answer format? How about this? I will speak first, and you can ask later. Immediately, the boss told some of the things he knew, such as the situation of the Ho family and why the 2 families had a grudge. The 3rd son of the Ho family was now in Dao, and he had effortlessly obtained control of a company without paying any price. This company originally belonged to the Sun family. It was worth hundreds of millions. So easy? Yes, it is so easy. I don't think General Manager Sun is a person who will suffer losses in love, Wang Yao said. He is unwilling, but it is a good thing for him to be able to get rid of this trouble with such a small amount of money. I think he wants to take this opportunity to try the Ho family's idea and test their appetite, the boss said. I don't believe that he doesn't have a backup plan. He yawned. Sorry, I didn't rest well last night. Gentle village, hero's mound, beauty, bone scraper, Wang Yao said with a smile. The man's eyes changed slightly when he looked at Wang Yao. Your waist and knees are weak, and you have tinnitus from time to time. Your abdomen is dull, and your bowel movements are irregular. Hey, how did you know that? The boss sat up straight and looked shocked. What Wang Yao said just now was all right. What company did Mr. Ho take over? The man asked. It is a trading company called Haitian Trading. Hey, tell me about my illness. Are you a doctor? No, I am a pharmacist. A pharmacist? The man was startled. He lit another cigarette. Sorry. He looked at Wang Yao and put out the cigarette again. Your illness is excessive indulgence. You know it in your heart, don't you? Well, hiss about this, I do know, but I just can't control it. When I see a beautiful girl, I want to go up and talk to her. Then, I want to have a deeper conversation with her. Haha. Well, if you continue like this, I estimate that in less than 2 years you will no longer have this ability. What do you mean? The man was startled and shocked. Literally, you will lose this ability, Wang Yao said. And your problem is not only this. There is also your stomach. Let me guess, you drink at least 1 bottle of wine a day? Chapter 732. It was normal for men to lust after beautiful women. Even Confucius had said that it was natural for men to lust after beautiful women. However, his hobby was a bit too much. Wang Yao had also heard from the owner that Ho San had done a lot of bad things. Because of this, he had caused someone to die. This was a sin. Do I live here? Wang Yao looked at the residential area in front of him. It was a high-end residential area, one of the few places in Dao. Wang Yao went in without any effort and came to the villa with the best location. This car must be worth a few hundred yuan. He looked at the luxury car parked outside. Rich people really know how to enjoy life. In the villa, a young man was having sex with 2 women on the bed. He was very busy. Well, you are very busy. Wang Yao walked around outside and knew what the young man was doing. It is broad daylight. He walked to a suitable place, looked around, and then took a deep breath. Bang! There was a roar, which was like thunder. Crack! Crack! Several windows on the 2nd floor broke. What happened? In the house, the man who was about to get intimate was stunned. Then, his body went soft in an instant. It was as if a cold wind had invaded his body. He couldn't do it in an instant. This is not good. He was addicted to sex. He had the ability to maintain his health. He knew what this meant. Who is it? He was so angry that he rushed to the bed. His upper body was still naked. He saw that the bed was empty except for some plants and an unattended ahuang. No one? How is it possible? On the wide and soft bed, there was even a naked beauty in her 20s waiting for him. Let me try again. He went back to the bed and wanted to try again, but there was no reaction below. Damn it! His face suddenly changed. Get out of here! He yelled at the 2 women on the bed. The 2 beauties didn't dare to say anything. They put on their clothes and left in a hurry. At this time, Wang Yao, who was still outside, saw the 2 women coming out of the villa. At this age, he's probably still in school. What a beast! He was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he waited outside. Not long after, a man came out. He was about 1.75 meters tall and was quite muscular. He looked like a talent. It should be him. Back in the tavern, the owner had shown him a photo of young Master Ho. It's better to have fewer scourges like this. Motherf ***, let me find out who it is. Young Master Ho came out of the villa, still cursing. He was going to the property of this community to look at the surveillance cameras. Who did it just now? A high-end community? Were the security guards blind? It's me. A voice suddenly rang out beside his ear, as if an awl had pierced through his ears and into his head. He clutched his head, but before he could shout, he suddenly felt as if something was stuck in his throat. He couldn't shout, and then he fainted. Wang Yao carried him like he was carrying a chicken into the villa. He walked around the villa and found something in the room where he had just been. It was a notebook and a hard drive. The things recorded in the notebook were very disgusting. It was the detailed process of his relationship with the women, especially the things in bed. He flipped through it roughly. Several of them were drugged and forced by him. Some of the content was recorded on the hard drive. Well, these things should be useful. He went to the living room and looked at the man. The more he looked at him, the more disgusted he felt. He poked and patted several places on the man's body. Repent. Then, he went out of the villa and left. At the foot of a commercial building in Dao, Sun Yunxing had just finished dealing with the company's affairs and had just come out of the building. The driver was waiting outside the car and was about to get in. Suddenly, a package flew over and landed on the seat first. "Be careful, young master." The bodyguard who followed him hurriedly protected him behind him. The people nearby were startled when they saw this, and they all looked over. "What is it?" The bodyguard stepped forward and opened the package. He found a notebook and a hard drive. "Well, what is this?" Sun Yunxing took a look and frowned. "Let's go back." After returning home, he read the notebook and looked at the things on the hard drive. He pondered for a long time. Naturally, he was very clear about young Master Ho's situation here. In fact, he had sent people to secretly monitor him. Naturally, he was very clear about what young Master Ho was doing. However, he didn't have such first-hand information. Who is it? Why did they give me this? This thing was very useful if it was used well, but it meant that he had to take the risk of falling out with the Ho family. He could not make such a decision, so he took the things to his father's place. Where did this come from? After seeing the two things and listening to his son's story, Sun Jingrong asked. "I don't know. Leave this thing with me first. It is useful, but not so useful. Now is not the time to fall out with them." Okay. Sun Yunxing naturally would not associate this matter with Wang Yao. At this time, Wang Yao was already in the car heading to hike. He felt that in the short term, he could only help the Sun family with this. Perhaps he would cause some trouble for them. In the villa, young Master Ho, who had fallen to the ground, slowly woke up. His head was still very painful, and he saw double. "Where am I?" It took him 10 minutes to wake up and confirm that he was in his own villa. "Who is it?" He remembered the young man he had just met outside. He heard a voice, and then he fainted. When he woke up again, he was here. As for what the young man looked like, he did not see it clearly at all. Who could it be? Someone from the Sun family? The first thing he thought of was the Sun family. He came here to discuss the other party, and he got a big company from the other party for nothing. No, they should not have the courage to fall out with my family. He was not a playboy who only knew women. In fact, he was very smart. Suddenly, there was a sharp pain in his head and abdomen. It was as if something was stirring inside. What the F***ck is going on? He was in so much pain that he was sweating all over. He could not bear it anymore. He shakily made a phone call and called an ambulance. He went to the hospital. After a careful examination, the results of the examination were suspected to be vasospasm in the head and gastroenteritis. "Is there anything else?" "No." "How can your head be vasospasm?" He took the examination results and drove back to the villa. As soon as he entered the house, he felt dizzy. He fell directly to the ground with a thud. "I'm back." At 4 p.m., Wang Yao returned to the mountain village. His parents were at home. "You're back. Did everything go well?" "It went very well. Is everything okay at home?" "It's fine. It's very good. What do you want to eat?" Zhang Xiuying asked. "You don't have to worry about it. I've brought it back." Wang Yao smiled and shook the things in his hand. On the way back, he happened to see someone selling fish. He thought it was quite fresh, so he bought a big carp. "Okay, I'll eat fish. I'm going to the clinic." After coming out of the house on the north-south road of the village, he saw a car waiting outside the clinic. It did have a license plate from another province. Another province? He went to the clinic, opened the door, and walked in. "Well, you're finally back." In the car, a man saw him and got out. He knocked on the door and went in. "Hello, Dr. Wang." "Hello, are you here to see a doctor?" That's not me. I just want to ask if you'll be seeing patients tomorrow morning." "Yes." "That's great. We'll come back tomorrow morning." "Okay." They had been waiting there for 2 days. They were ready to go back if they did not come back. Such a young doctor. "I don't know if he can do it," the man who had been waiting there whispered after leaving the clinic. Chapter 733. After staying in the clinic for a while, Wang Yao went straight to Nanshan Hill. As usual, San Xian went down the hill early to welcome him. He circled around him a few times, wagged his tail, and followed him cheerfully. San Xian, why do I feel that you have gained weight again? Woof. Is everything okay on the hill? Woof. Yes, very good. Before entering the hill, he went to the forest that had just been planted at the foot of the hill. The trees were growing very well. Some of the aura of Nanshan Hill had begun to spread and affected this place. They are growing well. Wang Yao looked around. Some of the soil under the trees was still wet. Obviously, they had been watered. No one else came here. It was most likely San Xian. Thank you, San Xian. Woof. On Nanshan Hill, the aura between heaven and earth seemed to be getting stronger. There are still not enough trees here. This time on Dragon Tiger Mountain, Wang Yao had a lot of feelings and gains. At that time, only places like Dragon Tiger Mountain could be called a mountain. Nanshan Hill was just a hill. Moreover, the vegetation on the hill was not luxuriant enough. He had to continue to plant trees. He had to plant trees in a planned way. By the way, those things have been modified. He went into the cottage and took out a jar. There was a special medicine in it. The wooden plates that he had planted a few days ago were soaked in the medicine. He took out the wooden plates and blew the medicine outside with air. He looked at them carefully and sniffed. Well, it should be fine. Then, he cleaned up the wooden plates and collected them. After that, he went out of the cottage and walked around Nanshan Hill. San Xian followed him quietly. San Xian, we have to continue to plant trees and be the emissary of beautifying the earth. Woof, woof. San Xian seemed to be very happy when it came to planting trees. You like it too. A rustling sound was heard. Then, a black snake appeared in front of him. Hello, Xiaohe. Wang Yao was patrolling the hill with 2 generals behind him. In fact, compared to the other hills in Lianshan County, there were a lot of trees on Nanshan Hill. Here, I have to plant trees. As he walked, he pointed and memorized. At a few important places, he exerted a little force with his feet, and then the ground sank into a pit. After walking around Nanshan Hill, he went to the nearby Shishan Hill and Dongshan Hill, especially the Shishan Hill, where the 2 death zones were. The dandelions and bristlegrass planted in the surroundings grew stubbornly. Interesting. He took out the ancient spring water and sprayed it. Then, he sprayed the decoction that he had just decocted on Nanshan Hill. Miasma grass was one of the decoctions, which could kill poisonous insects. He had experimented with it before. Those mutated insects that looked like mole crickets were extremely afraid of it. Moreover, the decoction could easily kill them. Even if it was just a little smell, it could directly make them lose their ability to move. This showed the power of this licorice root in this aspect. Extermination, extermination, extermination. This land of death can be restored to life. Wang Yao could think of a way to do this, but he didn't intend to do so. After circling around these few mountains, the sky had already darkened. Wang Yao went down the mountain. From a distance, he saw Zhong Luchuan, who had come out for a walk. After seeing Wang Yao, he quickly came up to him. Sir, you're back. Yes, I just came back in the afternoon. Is everything done? It went well. Have you had dinner? Yes, Zhong Luchuan said. Here, I'll give you a small thing. Wang Yao took out a small wooden sign from his body. On the front, there was the word medicine. On the back, there was a mountain, which exuded a unique medicine. What is this? Zhong Luchuan asked. It's just a small thing, Wang Yao said. Keep it well. In the future, whenever you come to me with this wooden sign, I'll do my best to help you save a person. There's no charge. Really? Zhong Luchuan was surprised. He knew Wang Yao's ability, so he also knew the significance of this small wooden sign. To some extent, it was an extra life. Of course, it's true, Wang Yao said with a smile. Thank you, sir, Zhong Luchuan said. What is this called? Well, it's a pharmacist's order, Wang Yao said. Pharmacist's order? Zhong Luchuan repeated. You'll live here for a long time, so you probably won't need it, Wang Yao said. By the way, how is the book I gave you going? I'm reading it, Zhong Luchuan said. It's very useful. At first, when he read the book, there was some difficulty. After all, he did not have any foundation, and he subconsciously resisted it. Naturally, it was difficult for him to read it. However, he forced himself to read it. After 3 days, he finally began to read it. After reading it, he naturally felt the beauty of it. The human body's meridians, acupuncture points, their respective functions, and the structure of the human body gave him a theoretical basis for his previous experience. Where to attack could be fatal and where to attack could make people unconscious. He instantly thought of these things. In fact, the main purpose of Wang Yao giving him the medical book was not this. That's good, Wang Yao said. Read it carefully. It will be of great help to the progress of your martial arts practice. Yes, Zhong Luchuan said. After chatting for a while, Wang Yao returned home. The hot fish soup was on the table. The soup was milky white and fragrant. It's delicious, Zhong Luchuan said. Eat more if it's delicious. Zhang Xiaoying looked at her son. Her eyes were full of love. Are you going to see patients tomorrow? Zhong Luchuan asked. You won't go out for a while, right? Zhong Luchuan asked. If there's nothing, I won't go out, Zhong Luchuan said. What's the matter? Zhong Luchuan asked. Nothing, let's eat. As parents, on the one hand, they hoped that their children could stand out and be successful. On the other hand, they hoped that they could stay by their children's side and rely on them in old age. With parents around, they should not travel far. The old saying was actually very reasonable. After eating, Wang Yao did not rush to go up the hill. Instead, he accompanied his parents for a while and gave them a massage to relax their muscles and bone. It was not until 9:30 that he left the house. At that time, there was no one outside the village. It was very quiet. At night, the village was cool, even cooler than the seaside in Dao. It was even cooler on the hill. Home is still the best. On Nanshan Hill, there were lights as usual. In Dao, hundreds of miles away, what? Hoshida is ill? Yes, I just got the news. He went to the hospital, and his illness is quite serious, Sun Jingrong said. What kind of illness? It seems to be thrombosis and gastroenteritis, Sun Jingrong said. What kind of serious illness is that? Hoshida was the third son of the Ho family. At this time, Sun Jingrong and Sun Yunxing were discussing this issue. His illness was very strange. They had just received the black information about Hoshida and were thinking about when to release it to have the greatest effect. Hoshida was hospitalized. Was it such a coincidence? What was he doing before he was hospitalized? He was fooling around with 2 female college students in the villa, Sun Jingrong said. Can you find them? Yes, Sun Jingrong said. Find them and ask them if there was any accident. Don't let people know that we are concerned about this matter. Dad, what are you worried about? Sun Jingrong asked. Now, as long as something happens to Hoshida in Dao, no matter who did it, his family's first suspect must be us, Sun Jingrong said as he lit a cigarette. I heard that he has done a lot of things in other places, Sun Jingrong said. Well, find out the details as soon as possible and prepare for the worst, Sun Jingrong said. At this time, in the best people's hospital in Dao, Hoshida was in great pain. His stomach hurt, his head hurt, and his crotch hurt. Mn. What the hell is going on? He was in a lot of pain, but the doctor here told him that there was nothing wrong with his body. This made him feel that the doctor was talking nonsense. He was already in so much pain, but there was no problem. Thus, he called home and prepared to return to the capital. Could it be that Sun Yunxing did it? This was what he was thinking at the moment. It was not easy to get through the night. The next day, he transferred to Jing. In the morning, the sun rose as usual. When Wang Yao went down the hill, he saw some people waiting outside the clinic. One of them was the man who had come to ask him yesterday. There were two other people. One was in his 40s and dressed very well. The other was in his 60s. They looked like father and son. Chapter 734. Wang Yao opened the door and received the patient. My father has been having a bad headache recently. Please take a look at him, the middle-aged man said softly. Wang Yao looked at the old man carefully. His face was gloomy, his eyes were dull, and his breathing was irregular. Have you been hospitalized recently? Wang Yao asked. Yes, he was hospitalized because of thrombosis, the middle-aged man said. How long has it been since then? A month? A little more than a month, the middle-aged man said. Wang Yao checked his pulse. You haven't had a good rest recently. Can't sleep at night? Wang Yao asked. Yes, I haven't had a good rest because of the headache, the middle-aged man said. The middle-aged man said. He had once taken his father to a big hospital, but the results were not ideal. This was also an accidental opportunity. He heard from his friend in this province that there was a doctor here who was particularly professional in treating headaches, so he came with an attitude of giving it a try. However, it happened that the doctor was out, so he was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he waited for 2 days. After all, there were still hundreds of kilometers from his home. The old man's condition was really not suitable for long-distance travel. Ouch! The old man covered his head. The headache came again. Come on. Wang Yao took out the needle bag, took out a silver needle, and inserted it. The old man's headache immediately stopped. Ah, it doesn't hurt anymore, the old man exclaimed. The middle-aged man was also quite shocked. At the beginning, when the father and son saw that Wang Yao was so young, they were skeptical of his medical skills. This needle dispelled most of the doubts in their hearts. As the saying goes, when an expert makes a move, one will know whether he is an expert or not. At least, among the doctors they had seen before, no one had the ability to stop the old man's headache in an instant. The old man's illness was multifaceted. He was in poor health and did not rest well at night. He was prone to insomnia, which would lead to head discomfort. Moreover, he had just been hospitalized. In fact, the thrombosis in his head had not been completely treated. There were still hidden dangers. Moreover, the blood vessels in his head were not smooth and there were several blockages. All these reasons together led to his current headache, which had a tendency of getting worse. If this went on, his head would soon form more serious thrombosis. At that time, hospitalization could not solve it. Doctor, what do you think? It can be treated, but the medicine is very expensive, Wang Yao said. No problem, the man said. He had heard about this from his friend before he came. This doctor had a lot of rules when it came to seeing patients, and some of the medicines were very expensive. Okay, I'll give you acupuncture and massage first. Wang Yao took a closer look and pulled out the needle. The old man did not feel any headache. Then, he began to massage the old man's head with his unique method. The old man felt very comfortable. His head felt warm and even a little drowsy. The needle was inserted. His speed of inserting the needle was not fast, and his hands were abnormally steady. Chungling, brain space, Fengqi. After a short while, the old man's head was covered with more than 10 silver needles. The middle-aged man stood to the side, not daring to breathe loudly. Wang Yao was so young, yet he was able to feel the pulse and perform acupuncture. What Wang Yao did completely changed his impression of traditional Chinese medicine. In his opinion, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners were mostly old men in their 50s. Traditional Chinese medicine practitioners relied more on experience. After meeting Wang Yao today, he realized that the old saying, There is no seniority in learning. The one who reaches the top is the teacher. After the acupuncture, Wang Yao gave the old man another massage. Come to pick up the medicine tomorrow morning. Okay, the man said. After paying the consultation fee, the father and son left. Dad, how do you feel? The man asked. Quite comfortable. My head is warm, the old man said. That's good. The car left the village. Wang Yao sat in the clinic and looked at the sky. He had just heard the system prompt that he had leveled up again. Character level, 8. Profession level, pharmacist, yes, still primary. Work hard. You have been improving, reward. A pack of herb seeds. Purple-backed dragon's tooth. Detoxify snakes, rats, and insects. Remove evil spirits from the chest and abdomen. Nourish the spirit and stabilize the fetus. It was another mid-level licorice root. Good stuff, Wang Yao said with a smile. With one more skill point, he added another point to his medicine concoction skill. In an instant, a large amount of knowledge poured into his mind, as if he had been enlightened. This time, the knowledge was different from the previous ones. It was insect stone, using insect and stone to make medicine and medicine. In the compendium of Materia Medica, there was the section of metal and stone and the section of insects. Wang Yao had already come into contact with these things, so he was not too surprised. However, the sudden amount of knowledge made him very happy. Good, very good. On the road from the mountain village to Lianshan County, a high-end car was driving smoothly. Xiaofeng, I'm going to sleep. Wake me up when we arrive, the old man said. He felt sleepy. Okay, Dad. After a while, the old man began to snore. It seemed that he was exhausted. He was sleeping very soundly. The driver slowed down the car. This doctor is really good. It's working so quickly, the man exclaimed. Who would have thought that such a person was hidden in such a small mountain village? In Jing, thousands of miles away, Director Ching, what about my son's illness? Our preliminary diagnosis is caused by some blockages in the blood vessels, mainly in the abdomen and head, the man said. Can it be cured? We need to have a meeting to discuss this because this situation is very rare, the man said. I'll have to trouble you. You're welcome. I have a suggestion. You can ask Dr. Li to come over and have a look. Maybe Chinese medicine has a better treatment. Okay, I know. In the ward, it hurts. It hurts. A young man was howling. He was in pain. His head and stomach hurt. There were insects drilling and biting inside. It was very unbearable. After the woman came out of the doctor's office, she came to the ward. She saw her son's appearance and then went out again. Madam, the frequency of the painkillers is a bit too high. If it continues, he will be addicted to it, the doctor immediately explained when he heard that the woman wanted to give the patient painkillers again. I can't watch him suffer so much, can I? Okay. A kind mother will spoil her son, the doctor thought to himself. The woman saw that her son had finally calmed down. She was about to leave after explaining something to the people guarding the side. She was going to ask Dr. Li to come over and have a look. As soon as she went out, she met another son. Mom, is third brother better? He's still the same. The pain is terrible. I'm going to ask Dr. Li to come over and have a look. I'll go with you. Okay. He was fine in Dao. How could he suddenly have such a strange disease? The second son of the Ho family wondered. It's the Sun family's doing. The Sun family? It can't be. This is too obvious. Sheeta said it was them. Well, we have to check it carefully. Even if they didn't do it, this matter can't be separated from them. The son next to him didn't speak. In Dao, the people of the Sun family had found the two girls and learned the whole story. Suddenly ruptured? Yes. After asking some details, they let the two girls go and gave them a certain amount of hush money. In that case, the person who gave us the material is likely to be the one who suddenly injured Mr. Ho, Sun Yunxing analyzed. It's very likely. What we have to do now is to find this person. We've checked the surveillance, but we can't see the person's face clearly. His figure is very vague, as if there's a layer of fog outside. It's strange. Where did such a person come from? Is he going to help us or harm us? The father and son of the Sun family were scratching their heads about this matter. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao chose a suitable place in the herbal field to plant the purple-backed dragon tooth he had just obtained. There's one more. It was exceptionally cool on the hill. After lunch, he saw a patient in the afternoon as usual. Only one person came. It was an old man from the same village with a child. The child had a stomachache and vomited and had diarrhea. After Wang Yao massaged the child's stomachache stopped. He then prescribed some medicine for him. Chapter 735. Auntie, the child is still young, Wang Yao said. Don't give him cold drinks. On such a day, don't give him cold dishes, especially the ones bought outside. Those things are unhygienic. He had seen the family more than once. They bought meat and cold dishes from outside in an effort to save trouble. It seemed to save trouble, but in summer those things were unhygienic. It was easy to get a stomachache. Oh, I see, the old man who looked after the child said with a smile. How much is it? There's no need for that. The medicine was not worth much money. Thank you, the old man said. Take care. The old man led the child away with a smile. After waiting for a while and looking at the time, he felt that no one would come. He locked the door of the clinic and went out. He went to Zhong Liuchuan's residence. Sir, aren't you seeing patients today? I didn't see any patients in the afternoon, so I closed the door and came to talk to you, Zhong Liuchuan said. Sir, please wait a moment, Zhong Liuchuan said. I'll make some tea. In an instant, a pot of tea with a faint fragrance wafted out. Sir, what can I do for you? Zhong Liuchuan asked. Indeed, there is something, Zhong Liuchuan said. Didn't you say before that you wanted to learn Kung Fu from me? I came to talk to you today. Okay, I'm all ears, Zhong Liuchuan said. He had seen Wang Yao's ability with his own eyes. He was like a god on earth. He did not expect to learn all of it. Even if he could learn 1/10 of it, it would be enough for him to enjoy for a lifetime. You don't have to be so serious, Zhong Liuchuan said. I just want to talk to you. I want to hear about your situation first. Okay, Zhong Liuchuan said. Then, Zhong Liuchuan carefully told Wang Yao what he had learned, including when he started to learn Kung Fu and when he started to engage in a special profession that could not be seen by others. He was very detailed. For Wang Yao, except for the secrets that had to be hidden in his heart, he told him about his experience. The things he learned were very complicated, such as Hong Quan, fighting, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. However, he was not proficient in those things, let alone master them. He just used whatever was useful. In addition, he liked to use a dagger very much, so he worked on it the most. Well, it's about time, Zhong Liuchuan said. Let's go to the yard. The two people came to the yard. Come, attack me with your ability, Zhong Liuchuan said. All right. Zhong Liuchuan instantly launched an attack, his speed very fast. The footwork is a little messy. It's about practicality, but there's no order to it. Wang Yao was just watching and feeling. Zhong Liuchuan's attack was very slow for him. As soon as Zhong Liuchuan's movement showed signs of launching, he could detect it. Even without using his eyes, he could feel it. The changes in the surrounding qi would tell him this very clearly. In the beginning, Zhong Liuchuan still had some reservations. After all, he was his benefactor and teacher. He didn't use those insidious and ruthless means of fighting with his life. You don't have to hold back. Just do whatever you want. Let me see all your tricks, Wang Yao said. He could tell that Yi Futian was holding back. At such a close distance, Even if he was directly attacked by a gun, he was confident that he could dodge or instantly incapacitate the other party. "Okay, be careful," Zhong Luchuan said. Zhong Luchuan shouted. Then, his movements became faster, more than 3 times faster than before. The angle of the attack was more tricky, and every move was aimed at the vital parts. This was the actual combat method he had learned through the messy things he had learned, coupled with some of his own experience and insight. The profession he was engaged in required him to be merciless. Killing the opponent was the primary goal. Things like posture and morality were not within the scope of his consideration at all. If he had considered these things, he might have lost his life long ago. "Do you have a knife?" "Yes," Zhong Luchuan said. Zhong Luchuan said. He had never left his sword since a few years ago, even in this mountain village, under such peaceful living conditions. It was a habit he had developed over the years. To engage in this special profession, one must have a strong sense of crisis. It was a business with one's head hanging on one's belt. "Use it." "Okay." There was a bright light and the blade was biting cold. With the knife in hand, his attack speed was faster, and the angle was more tricky. It was fast and ruthless. These were the 2 characteristics of his kung fu. Every move was fatal, and he used offense as defense. "It's almost time," Wang Yao said. Zhong Luchuan immediately stopped, and the blade was instantly put away. Soon, he adjusted his breathing. This fight had given him a further understanding of Wang Yao's cultivation. He had used all his strength without any reservation, but he had not even touched the other party's clothes. He could clearly feel that Wang Yao was as relaxed as if he was taking a stroll in the park. The gap between the 2 people was like heaven and earth. There was no comparison. "You have learned a lot," Wang Yao said. "It is not systematic, and the attack and defense are not balanced. In the beginning, it was a pure hobby. He had been taught by Zhou Xiong, and then he had studied it himself. By chance, he had obtained the ancient boxing manual from the Zhou family. Coupled with the mysterious blessing of natural classics, he had made rapid progress. Several epiphanies had allowed him to stand in a position that others might not be able to reach in a lifetime. "Yes, sir, you are right," Zhong Luchuan said. He was very clear about this, which was his own bottleneck. It was no problem to deal with ordinary and slightly stronger opponents, but to deal with professional masters, it was a bit difficult. For example, the pervert who had come last time was not as simple as using poison. His kung fu was very powerful. He had learned the Southern School's Mo family fist and practiced Wing Chun. Zhong Luchuan could not compare with him. "The kung fu I learned was introduced by Zhou Xiong," Zhong Luchuan said. "You have seen it." "Yes, I have," Zhong Luchuan said. "It is the boxing of Tsangzhou," Zhong Luchuan said. "I will teach you a unique breathing method. You can practice it first." "Yes, sir," Zhong Luchuan said. Wang Yao gave him a simple breathing method. It was a combination of the Daoyin technique he had learned from natural classics and the sex exercises he had obtained from Chen Ying. Although it was not very profound, it was simple and practical. In fact, in Wang Yao's opinion, this method was not profound. However, if he told other martial artists about this method, they would definitely regard it as a treasure. This was because this kind of internal breathing method was very rare nowadays. It was a unique skill of some sections. It practiced one's breath internally and one's muscles, bones, and skin externally. From the beginning of human life, the first thing they came into contact with was breathing, which was the foundation of human survival. You could not drink water for a day or eat for 3 days, but if you did not breathe for an hour, you would die. This was the most basic thing. Wang Yao said it twice and then taught him once. He let Zhong Luchuan practice it twice. Obviously, he could not master the breathing technique in such a short time. "There is no rush," Zhong Luchuan said. "Take it slow." "Okay." By the way, when I attacked you just now, I found that you still have old injuries in your body that have not healed, Wang Yao said. Yes, Zhong Luchuan said. Zhong Luchuan said. He did have a hidden injury in his body. It was a gunshot wound in his lungs. Although the wound had healed, it left a hidden injury. When he moved quickly, he would have difficulty breathing. Let me take a look at the solution to this internal injury. Wang Yao looked carefully. It's easy. Zhong Luchuan was stunned. In fact, it was very difficult to treat this kind of old injury that had been in the past for several years. He had seen several doctors, but none of them could do anything about it. However, they felt that it didn't affect his normal life too much, so they put it aside until Wang Yao mentioned it again today. Well, let's stop here first. Don't pass on what I taught you to others. Okay, I know. When Wang Yao left, it was already evening. Thousands of miles away in Jing, Ho Shida's mother invited Li Shengrong, a master of Xinglin. The result of his diagnosis was very bad. Her son's tendons and veins were injured in his head and abdomen. It was very difficult to treat. Li Shengrong, even you can't do anything about it, the woman anxiously said. I can't do anything about it, the old man said. What should I do? She loved her youngest son very much. Chapter 736. Why don't we ask Dr. Chen to come and have a look? After saying that, the woman immediately realized that she had said something wrong. Please don't mind me. I didn't mean anything else. She had obviously committed a big taboo. She had said to ask another doctor in front of one doctor. This showed that she did not trust the doctor's ability. It was like saying that another woman was beautiful in front of one's wife. It's okay. I know you are anxious. Li Shengrong waved his hand to show that he did not care. At his current age, level, and state of mind, he did not care much about these things. Moreover, there was a layer of relationship in it. Otherwise, he would not have appeared there. I can't treat it. That stinky guy is also terrible. You can ask him to have a try. Okay. Wait a minute. You don't have to run away. I'll ask him to come over. Li Shengrong made a phone call. Stop playing chess. Okay, I'll pick you up in a car later. After saying a few words, she hung up the phone. Okay, you can arrange a car to pick him up. Oh, okay. The woman immediately arranged a car to pick up Dr. Chen. After nearly an hour, the skinny old man arrived at the hospital. Stinky guy, did you lose again? Li Shengrong asked as soon as he saw him. Chen Zhochuan snorted coldly and did not say anything. Where is he? He is in the ward. The woman hurriedly led the way. Why don't you stop talking? On the hospital bed, Ho Shida had just fallen asleep. It was a rare rest time for him. The pain might break out at any time. When that time came, it would be like a year. He even wanted to die. Chen Zhochuan came to the bed and checked his pulse. Well, it's a strange pulse. He frowned. His head, abdomen, and meridians are blocked in many places. Logically speaking, such a situation should not happen at such a young age. He also felt that it was very troublesome. Cut the crap. Is there any way? I can try to solve the problem of the abdomen, but I can't do anything about the problem of the head, the old man said. Also, he is young and doesn't learn well. You have to teach him something, Chen Zhochuan said mercilessly. AI. The woman hurriedly nodded. Not to mention that she had something to ask of them, even if it was a normal day, these two old men would say the same thing. Wait until he wakes up. Seeing that the young man would not wake up for a while, the two of them bid farewell and left. Hey, stinky bastard, wait for me! Li Shengrong shouted. What do you want? Chen Zhochuan said unhappily. Don't look for me for such things in the future. Don't you know what kind of person Ho Shida is? Young Master Ho did not have a good reputation in Jing City. He was different from Guo Jinghe. He could not be compared with Su Xiaoxue, who was the daughter of an aristocratic family that everyone loved. For such a playboy, young Master Ho disdained to help. Hey, you know my relationship with their family. Just this once, just this once. Li Xingrong hurriedly apologized. However, that kid's illness is quite strange. He deserves it, he only has himself to blame. Hey, why are you getting more and more stubborn? Did you quarrel with your sister-in-law? No. I just made some good tea. Do you want to try it? I'm not going. After that, Chen Zhouchuan left without looking back. Hey, this old stubborn guy. Li Xingrong was a little confused. He did not know what had happened to his old friend and why his temper had become so bad. However, since Chen Zhouchuan had agreed, it was a good thing. He knew his old friend's methods. Chen Zhouchuan's research and treatment of meridians was indeed a little better than his. Of course, it was only a little better. The sky soon turned dark. That day, Wang Yao went to Nanshan Hill early. He needed to decoct 2 decoctions for the next day. One decoction was Anshensen, which helped the old man calm down and sleep. The other decoction was primordial spirit soup, which was mainly used to restore the old man's vitality. These 2 decoctions were enough to solve the old man's problem. He had brewed these 2 potions many times. It was very easy for him to brew them. However, it still took time to brew them. It wasn't because he was proficient now, or because of the improvement of his ability, that he could greatly reduce the time needed to brew the potion. That night, in a hotel in Lianshan County. Dad, how do you feel? The middle-aged man asked his father softly. Well, the headache is better. It's effective, the old man said. The old man said. His head hadn't hurt since he came out of the clinic, which made him very happy. That's good. You should rest early. Oh, you should also go to bed early. You've been tired all day. At night, the old man felt good in the first half of the night. After that, his head began to hurt again. However, the pain was not as bad. It was intermittent. Anyway, he did not sleep well. Compared to the past, this was considered light. The sky gradually brightened. Ah, it's another night. The old man rubbed his forehead. He did not have a good rest the night before, but it was considered good. At least, he fell asleep. The quality of sleep for the first half of the night was not bad. Dad, did you sleep last night? The middle-aged man asked during breakfast. Yes, I slept quite well, especially for the first half of the night, the old man said. Wait here. I'll get you the decoction. Oh, okay. Before 8 a.m., the middle-aged man had already arrived in the mountain village and waited outside the clinic. Wang Yao usually went down the mountain at 8 a.m. Dr. Wang. Hey, you're early. I just arrived. After entering the clinic, Wang Yao took out the 2 decoctions that he had decocted the day before and told him how to use them. 2 decoctions for a 3-day course of treatment. Oh, I'll remember it all, the middle-aged man said. Then, it was time to pay the bill. The price of the primordial spirit soup was not very expensive. The price of a few hundred yuan was acceptable to most families. However, the price of the Anshensen surprised him. It was indeed expensive. Do we need to continue to stay here? Come back in 3 days. Okay, the middle-aged man replied. Anyway, he had already stayed there for a few days. 3 more days would not make a difference. The main purpose of his visit was to help his father see the doctor. After seeing the middle-aged man off, a total of 3 people came to the clinic in the morning. It was a leisurely day. Thousands of miles away, in a hospital in Jing, Chen Zhouchuan had just finished giving Ho Shida an injection. The young man wailed and rolled on the bed in pain. It hurts so much. Old man, do you know how to treat me? Because of the pain, he spoke without thinking. His mother did not stop him in time. Humph! Chen Zhouchuan snorted coldly. He then packed his things and left. You only have yourself to blame. Ah, you're so smelly. Li Xingrong wanted to stop his old friend, but he was pushed away by his friend's outstretched arm. The doctor sighed. Dr. Li looked. I don't know what to do, Li Xingrong helplessly said. You can't just let Shida be like this, can you? Her son was simply living a life of suffering. He was better off dead. As a mother, how could she not be distressed? At this time, she would rather he be the one suffering. I don't know what to do, Li Xingrong said. Then, what can we do? I can't treat him, but someone should be able to, Li Xingrong said as he looked at Ho Shida, who was lying on the bed and struggling in pain. Who is it? Where is he? A young man named Wang Yao, but he is not in Jing at this time. Where is he? In a small mountain village. What? The woman was stunned. A small mountain village. Chapter 737. What? Are you looking down on the villagers? Dr. Li's face darkened. I didn't mean that, the woman hurriedly explained. I'm telling you, Dr. Li, you have to correct your attitude, Li Xingrong said. You are asking for help. This doctor's rules are very strange. He's the one who treated old Guo and Xiao Shui? The woman surnamed Li suddenly understood. Jing City was very big, but some social circles were very small, such as the Su family and the Guo family. There were some things that they all knew, such as Wang Yao. Many people wanted to build a relationship with this young but skillful doctor, but they couldn't force him. There was no other reason. The Su family and the Guo family were there, and they were one of the richest families in Jing City. Yes. Whether you can see it or not depends on your luck. Li Xingrong left the hospital and went home. He took a small bucket of tea and went to Chen Zhouchuan's house. In the small yard, Chen Zhouchuan's old man was lying on a recliner and listening to Beijing opera. Hey, aren't you playing chess? What's the matter? Chen Zhouchuan asked. Nothing. Thank you for helping Ho Shida. Li Xingrong put the tea on a small table. Chen Zhouchuan snorted. Have some tea. His wife came out with a pot of tea. Oh, thank you, sister-in-law. The tea was very fragrant. Don't be angry, Li Xingrong said. Although that child is usually a little naughty, he still calls me grandpa. I can't just watch him die like that, right? He is not your biological son, Chen Zhouchuan said. Well, even if he is not your biological son, he is still related. I can't treat him. You should find someone else, Chen Zhouchuan said. You can't treat him, and I can't treat him, Li Xingrong said. You don't have to worry about where he can go. I've shown him a way. As for whether it works or not, it depends on the child's luck. You didn't let him go to Wang Yao, did you? Chen Zhouchuan suddenly sat up. Well, you guessed right, Li Xingrong said. That little guy is more capable than us. He might be able to cure something that we can't. The older you get, the more shameless you become. Chen Zhouchuan said angrily. Hey, watch your words. Li Xingrong was not happy after hearing that. I gave you the tea with good intentions. Look at you pulling a long face, as if I owe you something. It's fine if you can't take a look at it yourself, but what right do you have to trouble him? Do you remember what he said before he left? Li Xingrong remained silent after hearing that. You know what kind of person your grandson is. Go out and ask around. How many girls have he taken advantage of? To be honest, if he wasn't born in that family, he would have been in jail already. Maybe he would have been beaten to death outside. Chen Zhouchuan was getting angrier and angrier. Go, go, go. Hurry up and go. Just looking at you makes me angry. Why did you two start arguing? Chen Zhouchuan's wife walked over to them. Are you throwing a tantrum again? She gently patted her husband's shoulder. Hey, it's nothing. Go back to your room and rest, Chen Zhouchuan said. Is your wife in good health? Chen Zhouchuan asked softly after his wife entered the room. Yes, she can't sleep well at night, Chen Zhouchuan said. Didn't you treat her? Chen Zhouchuan asked. Yes, but the effect is not very obvious, Chen Zhochuan's tone softened when talking about his wife's condition. Do you want me to take a look at her? No, Chen Zhochuan said. In a few days, when the weather is cooler, I want to take her out for a walk. Where are you going? Chen Zhochuan asked. To see Wang Yao. Well, that's good. After chatting for a while, Chen Zhochuan's temper gradually weakened. The two old men had known each other for more than 30 years. They were in the same line of work, so they knew each other's temperament. They didn't hide anything from each other, but it was close. It was normal for them to bicker. Old children were old, so it was inevitable that their tempers would become a little strange. Do you want to have a drink at my place tonight? Li Xingrong asked. Don't bother. How about the same old place? Okay, the same old place. Thousands of miles away, in the mountain village, there was a guest in the clinic. It was Zheng Weijun. The location of Nanshan Pharmaceutical had been chosen, and the plan had been designed. The auspicious day had been chosen. The construction had begun. With the joint efforts of the Zheng family and the Sun family, the speed of the construction was naturally without a doubt. Zheng Weijun was on a business trip in Qi province. He just happened to come to see Wang Yao. Sir, the main construction of the company is estimated to be completed before the end of the year, Zheng Weijun said. We plan to start production around May 1st of next year. Okay. When the company was established, there was a clear division of labor. The Zheng family was responsible for the early procedures, the daily management of the company, and the sales of the produced drugs. Wang Yao was only responsible for funding and providing technical support. By the way, I have a small gift for you. Wang Yao took out the pharmacist's order and gave him one. What is this? The pharmacist's order. I can help you as much as possible once. I will try my best to save a person, Wang Yao said. Thank you, sir. Zheng Weijun carefully put away the small wooden token. It was too precious. After staying for a while, a patient came in, so he got up and left. The pharmacist's order. When he returned to the car, he took out the wooden token and looked at it carefully. This thing is very useful. He felt that Wang Yao himself might not realize the significance of the thing he gave out to them. With his ability, I'm afraid he can cure those incurable diseases. In the afternoon, near evening, 2 more cars came to the mountain village. The cars were full of trees. Hello, Dr. Wang. The person who came to give the trees was still Mr. Li. Hello, thank you. You are welcome. I should be the one thanking you, the young man said with a smile. In the past few months, Wang Yao had bought a lot of trees from him. This was a lot of income. Are you going to keep these books for a few years before selling them? I'm not selling them, Wang Yao said. Oh, I'm just asking, Li Xiu said with a smile. By the way, are you free tomorrow? Yes, what's the matter? Oh, my mother has had a bad headache these days, Li Xiu said. She went to the hospital and didn't find anything wrong with her. I want to bring her here. Okay, come in the morning. Okay. After they left, Wang Yao went back and forth between the mountain and the foot of the mountain. It didn't take him much effort to transport all the trees to the mountain. I'm going to plant trees again. San Xian wagged his tail happily around the trees. The dog seemed to have a love for trees beyond the species. This might be due to the influence of Wang Yao or Nanshan Hill. The next day, before dawn, Wang Yao began to get busy. He dug holes, planted trees, and watered the trees. This time, Hero Eagle came to help. In the morning, the clinic was not open. Wang Yao explained this on Weibo, but someone still came in the morning. It was a young man in his 30s. What's the matter? It's not open? He came from Jing and was entrusted by the hostess. Tut. He didn't know there was such a thing on Weibo, so he could only wait outside. Although the temperature in the mountain village was slightly lower than in the city, it was still quite hot at this time. He stood under the 2 tall acacia trees outside and waited. He looked at the time from time to time. Hey, why is there no one at this time? It wasn't easy to catch a villager. He went up and asked, Wang Yao, I don't think he will open today. He has a Weibo. You can check it. What? A mountain village clinic also has a Weibo? He was dumbfounded when he opened it. He didn't see any patients in the morning. Well, what should I do? He came all the way from Jing with his wife's entrustment and instructions. He could wait, but the young man lying in the hospital bed couldn't wait. Should I go to his house and ask? He asked another person and learned that Dr. Wang really lived in the village, but he also had a strange rule. He couldn't go to his house to find him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to see the doctor. What the hell? What kind of rule is this? After hearing this, he was speechless. Even those big shots in the capital didn't have such strange rules. Chapter 738. He had no choice but to follow the rules. After all, he was begging the doctor. He smoked one cigarette after another under the tree. An old man walked past him with a cow. Hey, I haven't seen a cow for a while, the old man said. He looked at the old bull and said. What he said was the truth. Every day in the capital, he saw tall buildings, endless traffic, people everywhere, and cats and dogs. Bulls were indeed very rare. The cow stuck out its buttocks and pooped toward him. F***ck. The old man, who had a cigarette in his mouth, was stunned. What kind of operation is this? The old man slowly walked away with the cow, leaving him alone there in a mess. Just like that, the morning passed by. Wang Yao was busy on the mountain all morning, planting a lot of trees. The middle-aged man waited outside the clinic all morning and smoked 7 cigarettes. Aggrieved, he felt extremely aggrieved. What kind of bullsh**t doctor is this? He sighed. What did you say? He looked up and found a man standing in front of him, looking at him with an unfriendly face. What did you just say? The man repeated. No, nothing. He felt that the man's eyes were very aggressive. If he said something wrong, the man would directly slap him. What are you standing here for? The person who asked the question was Zhong Luchuan. When he came out, he saw the man standing there and had not left. He could guess that the man was most likely there to see a doctor, but his words just now made him very uncomfortable. I'm here to see a doctor, the man said. The man in front of him, who was about the same age as him, had an aura that made him very uncomfortable. Dr. Wang is not here today. Didn't you see his Weibo? Well, I just saw it, the man said. It's my first time here. Then don't wait, the man said. Oh, okay, the man said. After speaking, the man, who had come all the way from Jing, left reluctantly. He had wanted to continue to wait for a while, but when he saw the man looking at him with very unfriendly eyes, he immediately dismissed the idea. It was not a good idea to wait there. On such a hot day, he would come back in the afternoon. On Nanshan Hill. Well, very good, Wang Yao said with a smile as he looked at the trees he had just planted. San Xian de Xia, thank you. After finishing his work, he went down the mountain for lunch. In the sky, the sun shone brightly. At noon, when the weather was the hottest, another person came to the small mountain village. He drove in from the north and then stopped at the south of the village. He got out of the car. He was in his 30s and looked very ordinary. He walked around the village, then returned to the car and left. They left the mountain village from the north. After leaving the mountain village, he muttered to himself in the car, It's just a small mountain village. I don't see anything special except for the clinic. I really don't understand. How could you be trapped in such a place? And that Zhong Luchuan. In the afternoon, the clinic was open for business. Hey, it's actually open, the man who came in the morning said happily after knocking on the door. At this time, Wang Yao had just finished seeing a patient and was free. Well, you are Dr. Wang Yao. That's me. Are you here to see a doctor? Wang Yao glanced at the man. He was healthy and had no major problems. It's not me. It's our son, the man said. Where is he? He is not here, the man said. Bring him here, Wang Yao said. Doctor, his condition is very serious now. He has a headache and stomach pain. He is in so much pain that he can't get out of bed. Do you think you can go and see him? I'm not going, Wang Yao said without thinking. Well, the cost of the house call is not a problem. No, I don't want to say it a third time. If there is nothing else, please leave, Wang Yao said calmly. Ah, this. The man did not know what to say. Why is he so difficult to talk to? He could not understand the other party's temper. He really did not know where to start. He had to leave. How should I tell Madam? What? You are not going to see a house call? The woman in Jing who received the phone call was quite unhappy. Can't I pay more? No, madam, the man said. I have thought of everything I can think of. In fact, what else could he think of? Before he could finish what he wanted to say, he was directly kicked out. I see, the woman said. I will go there myself. The sun was setting. In a small courtyard in the mountain village, Zhong Luchuan was practicing alone. In 2 days, he had been able to touch the door of the breathing exercises. Although it was still a little awkward, he believed that after a period of familiarity, there would be progress. He also wanted to know what he would become after systematically learning from Wang Yao. Well, it should be here. Near evening, a man in his 30s appeared in the village. He was driving a car. Judging from the license plate, it was from Dao. After stopping the car, he met an old man on the side of the road and asked, Uncle, do you have a clinic here? Yes, it is in the south of the village, the old man said. It should be closed at this time, the old man said. Are you here to see a doctor? Yes, I am here to see a doctor, the man said. When he talked about the illness, his expression was a little strange. Ah, that will have to be tomorrow, the old man said. He still has Weibo. The people in the village still knew about Wang Yao's clinic, including some of his strange rules. Tomorrow then, the man said. He then drove away. He went to Lianshan County and found a hotel to stay. At night, he heard someone knocking on the door. Who is it? Hello, sir, the man said. Do you want special service? Special? He knew the meaning of this sentence the moment he heard it. No, hurry up and leave. As soon as he heard this, the man was very angry. Special service? I am almost a eunuch now. He had gone there to see a doctor. Nothing happened that night. The next morning, he went to the mountain village early and saw the old driver who had looked for him a few days ago. Hey, it's you. After seeing the man, Wang Yao was stunned. He didn't expect the man to find him. The man was the owner of the bar he had bought information from in Dao. I have been looking for you for a long time, the man said. Ever since he saw Wang Yao that day, he found that he couldn't do it. He didn't even dare to think about it. Once he thought about it, his body would immediately hurt. It was killing him. The key problem was that he now had a little interest in that beautiful woman. After all these years of playing with flowers, he also wanted to settle down and find a home. However, at this time, that person did something to his body again. He dropped the ball at the critical moment. He had been looking for excuses to avoid that beautiful woman these days. Otherwise, people would think that he suddenly couldn't take it anymore. Wasn't that infuriating? How angry! He wanted to slap Wang Yao in the face. If his health and future happiness were not in the hands of Wang Yao, he might have done it now. How is it? Do you feel better recently? Wang Yao asked with a smile. Not good at all, the man said, holding back his anger. I was kind enough to do business with you, the man said. How could you cheat me like this? Didn't they say that the villagers were simple? No, I see that your mental state is obviously better than a few days ago, Wang Yao said. He was telling the truth. The man in front of him now was indeed much better than that day in Dao. Appropriate abstinence was very good for the body. Please cure my illness, the man said. Thank you. Well, it will take some time for your illness to recover, Wang Yao said. The two of them were obviously talking about different things. Dr. Wang, right? I am going to get married. I can't be like this, the man said after taking a deep breath. Marriage? Congratulations, but from the perspective of a pharmacist, I don't recommend you get married at this time. Wang Yao said. Your body has not fully recovered at this time. If you continue to indulge in it, it may further worsen your condition. Chapter 739. You are the one who is sick. Your whole family is sick, the man thought angrily. His anger was rising to the top of his head. If he had been in Tao, he would have gone crazy. I'm really fine. Can you help me? He asked in a low voice, trying to suppress his anger. Think about it carefully. It's easy to help you, but it will be troublesome if you want to treat it in the future, Wang Yao said. I've thought about it, really, the man said. You won't regret it? I won't, the man said. Okay, I'll help you, Wang Yao said. Wang Yao pressed on his abdomen. The man felt a warmth in his abdomen, which then dissipated. It's done, Wang Yao said. It's done. The man still couldn't believe it. What do you think? Wang Yao asked. You can try if you don't believe me, but I advise you to bear with it. A moment of pleasure may lead to regret for the rest of your life. How much? What money? The consultation fee. The man was stunned. Forget it. It's not easy for you to come all the way here. Wang Yao smiled and waved his hand. Forget it? The man was stunned again. He thought Wang Yao was going to blackmail him. At least, he would take back the more than 1,000 yuan from last time. He didn't expect that he would just let it go. Was I wrong? Did he really just want to treat me? He didn't have any other purpose? The man couldn't help thinking. Okay, is there anything else? Wang Yao asked. Well, nothing. Thank you, the man said. You're welcome, Wang Yao said with a smile. Creak. At this time, another person entered the room. It was a woman in her 40s with an extraordinary temperament. Hello, are you Dr. Wang? The woman asked. That's me, Wang Yao said. Hello, Dr. Wang. Can you make a house call? The woman asked. Where are you going? Wang Yao asked. Jing, the woman said. No, the woman said without hesitation. Why? It's too far. I don't want to go there. Wang Yao's reason was very simple and even a little willful. I can arrange the itinerary. You won't find it troublesome, the woman said. I'm not going. It was still the same two words. Wang Yao felt that this woman was most likely with the man who came here to find him yesterday. It was just that they didn't come at the same time. Just name the consultation fee, I won't refuse. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Wang Yao waved his hand and said. He felt a sense of superiority from the woman's tone and eyes. She was bossy and arrogant, which made him feel disgusted. What an awesome look! The man who had not yet left was stunned when he saw the situation. He had never seen such an awesome doctor in such a mountain village. Even the people in the capital came to see him. Wait a minute, doesn't this mean that his ability is very high? Is he really sick? Hey, why haven't you left yet? Wang Yao stared at the man. Are you regretting it? No, I'll leave right away. Although he doubted it, he didn't want to experience the painful feeling again. He turned and left. Only Wang Yao and the woman were left in the room. My son is really sick. Dr. Wang, can you please make an exception? The woman asked in a disguised way, but her tone didn't seem to be very soft. Wang Yao didn't say anything. He just waved his hand. Can I bring him here? The woman asked helplessly. Yes. Thank you. The woman went out. What kind of doctor is he? I haven't seen his ability. He's so arrogant. After leaving the room, the woman said angrily. She was asking for help. Otherwise, she would have taught him a lesson. Of course, she didn't know that her words would be heard by Wang Yao, who was in the clinic at this time. Haha, what a deep anger! Wang Yao sneered. He suddenly changed his mind. Even if the woman brought a patient to him, he wouldn't treat him. The woman came quickly and left quickly. She returned to Jing on the same day and met the attending doctor who treated her son. What? He's going to be discharged? Mrs. Li, his condition is very serious now. I know, the woman said. If there's a problem, I'll take responsibility. Well, I'll go through the formalities. The next day, they took the family's healthcare doctor directly to Dao by plane. Yes, a plane, a private plane. They went directly from Dao to the mountain village. When they arrived, it was already afternoon. At this time, there were patients in the clinic. Why did you come to such a mountain village? The people who came with them were very surprised when they saw the situation, but they didn't ask much. Hello, Dr. Wang. The woman suppressed the anger in her heart. Hello. My son is here. He's outside. Take the sign and line up. Wang Yao pointed to the wooden sign hanging on the wall. What? The woman was stunned. She did not expect that a small clinic in a small mountain village would have to follow such rules. She took a deep breath, then turned around and walked to the wall. She took a wooden sign and quietly sat down in line. However, her expression was very unpleasant. Mrs. Li is angry. The consequences are serious. The people who came with her saw the situation. There were 2 people in front of her. Their conditions weren't very serious. They just had headaches. Wang Yao only needed to use acupuncture, and the effect was immediate. He has some skills. The woman who was sitting quietly and waiting aside saw the situation. Finally, a person pushed a wheelchair in. There was a man in the wheelchair. It's him. Seeing this person, Wang Yao was stunned. He couldn't be more familiar with this person. In the villa in Dao, it was this young man. In other words, the reason this young man became like this was entirely because of Wang Yao. What a joke. I'm sorry, I can't cure your son's illness, Wang Yao said with a smile. You don't even have to look at him to know that you can't cure him. I don't need to look at him, Wang Yao said coldly. I can't cure his illness. It's incurable. The young man's illness, in addition to the hidden hand he left behind, had other problems. This was noticed when he was in Dao last time. It was caused by doing bad things. At that time, he was very angry, so he hurt him so badly. It wasn't just for the Sun family. He has only been ill for a few days, the woman hurriedly said. Some diseases have an incubation period, Wang Yao said. Once it breaks out, it's as fierce as a landslide and flood. It can't be stopped. This is his situation. You can't do anything? No. You can even cure Su Xiaoshue's illness. You can't cure this illness, the woman said. She felt that Wang Yao was refusing and looking for an excuse. He didn't want to treat at all. Do you know Xiaoxue? Wang Yao was stunned. He didn't expect the woman to mention her name. I held her when she was a child, the woman said. Xiaoshue's illness can be cured because she is blessed. I'm sorry about your son's illness, Wang Yao said. He wouldn't make an exception just because the woman in front of him knew Su Xiaoxue or was related to her family. His mother's attitude was bad, but her son was not a good person. He deserved to be punished like this. Dr. Wang, why do I feel that you are deliberately making things difficult for me? The woman couldn't stand it anymore. What you said is strange, Wang Yao said. I don't know you. We have no grievances. Why would I make things difficult for you? Are you really not going to treat my son's illness? I can't treat him, Wang Yao repeated calmly. Good, very good. The woman got up and stared at Wang Yao. Let's go. She took a few deep breaths and waved her hand. She left with her son. TSK. Her temper is really bad. She is far worse than Xiaoshue's mother. After leaving the clinic and getting into the car, The woman calmed down and made a phone call. "Uncle, I have a problem here," the woman said. Yes, he won't treat me. Can you help me?" "Are you back?" Li Xingrong on the other end of the phone said. "Is it about Shida's illness?" the woman asked. "I can't persuade him," Li Xingrong said. "He said it can't be treated, so it can't be treated. Let's think of another way." "Oh, okay." The woman hung up the phone. Her face was extremely gloomy. Chapter 740. He had come and gone, returning without any result. He had let his son suffer so much for nothing. He really deserved to die. The more the woman thought about it, the angrier she became. "Just you wait." She turned around and glanced at the medical center that stood there quietly and said coldly, "Sigh, this young doctor is going to be unlucky." Hearing the madam's unreserved words, the people accompanying her secretly thought to themselves, "He has offended someone again." In the clinic, Wang Yao thought. However, he did not care too much about it. After all, it was not the first time he had offended someone. It was an insult to the title of pharmacist to let him treat such a person. He was not a bodhisattva who could deliver all the people in the world, regardless of good or evil. No, Buddhism still said that Buddha could deliver all the people in the world, regardless of whether they were good or evil. The night was quiet. Hundreds of miles away in Dao, in a bar. On the second floor, in a comfortable bedroom with a large bed, a man and a woman were sleeping. "Phew, cool, so cool. It seems that the doctor did not lie to me," the man thought to himself. The past few days had been suffocating him to death. He had to face such a charming beauty all day long, but he couldn't touch her. Once he had any thoughts, problems would arise. His lower abdomen area was hurting so much that he wanted to die. This was an unbearable torture. "Are you not feeling well?" the beautiful woman asked. She was concerned about him. After all, he might be the person who would entrust his life to her in the future. "I'm fine, absolutely fine." He had patted his chest more than once to assure her. Fortunately, the doctor did not lie to him and let him regain his masculinity. He lit a cigarette and took a break. "Don't smoke." The woman put out the cigarette for him. "Honey. Let's get married." "Okay." "Really?" "More real than real gold," the man said. After being free for a few years, there should be some restrictions. The key was that the old people were looking forward to having grandchildren. They could not go on like this. "Great." The woman was very happy. She hugged the man and kissed him. Again. "Nah, no more." The room was full of love. The next day, an unexpected visitor came to the mountain village. "It's you?" The visitor was Miao Sanding, who was proficient in feng shui. "It's me," Miao Sanding said. "Sorry to bother you again. Is there something you need from me?" "Yes," Miao Sanding said. Last time, when he came to invite Wang Yao didn't refuse. Moreover, Wang Yao did help him a lot in Hangzhou. He remembered Wang Yao's kindness. He had been thinking about how to repay Wang Yao these days. He didn't have any money or treasures. He only had the ability to travel. Suddenly, he remembered that when he came to the mountain village for the first time, he saw the Chi of Death on the West Hill. Therefore, he thought that he could start from there and solve the Chi of Death there. It could be considered a kind of repayment. "Come in and talk." Wang Yao invited him into the clinic. To be honest, he had a good impression of Miao Sanding. Miao Sanding was a kind person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to Hangzhou to help just because he was curious. After entering the clinic, Wang Yao made him a cup of tea. After sitting down, Miao Sanding told Wang Yao the purpose of his trip in a euphemistic way. "Haha, thank you very much." After listening to his words, Wang Yao's impression of Miao Sanding improved. In this materialistic society, it was a rare virtue to know how to repay a debt of gratitude and remember it well. I want to know how you can get rid of the death chi. I need to take a look at the site and make arrangements. Okay, I'll take you there. Just as he was about to leave, another old man came to see him. It was a little delayed. The old man bent over and looked a little painful. What's wrong with you, uncle? My waist hurts badly, the old man said with a sigh. He was over 70 years old. His body was getting worse day by day. Please sit down. Let me take a look. Wang Yao helped the old man sit down and carefully examined him. You don't need to work in the field. This was a typical lumbar muscle strain. There was also a problem with the lumbar spine. It was caused by fatigue. Okay. The old man didn't speak. He sighed. He didn't want to work anymore. He was almost 80 years old, but his son had just moved to a big house in the county and had a mortgage. Moreover, he had a second child. His boss was in his 80s and was in poor health. Naturally, he couldn't take care of the children. His daughter-in-law had quit her job and stayed at home to take care of the two children. The family's income depended on his son. He wasn't the boss, he was just an employee. Seeing that his son was getting thinner and whiter each time he came back, the old man, as a father, was naturally distressed. I'll give you a massage. Lie down. After the old man lay down, Wang Yao began to massage him. In less than 5 minutes, the old man felt the pain disappeared. His waist was very warm and comfortable. After more than 20 minutes, he felt that not only his waist, but also his whole body seemed to have become strong. Okay. Yao, you are really capable, the old man sighed. How much? The old man took out an oil paper bag from his pocket with trembling hand. There was some money in it, but no large bills. No need, uncle, Wang Yao said with a smile. How can I do that? It's useless, Wang Yao said. It's just a bit of hard work. You have to pay attention to it. You need to rest well. Don't go to the field on such a hot day. I think the blood vessels in your brain are not very good. There is a lack of blood supply. You have to pay attention to it. Old people were prone to problems. At this age, people generally worked as little as possible in the field, especially on such a hot day. If a person fell down in the field alone and no one noticed, it would be troublesome. Okay. The old man nodded and went to the clinic. The old man had no one to rely on. Looking at the old man's back, Wang Yao suddenly thought of such a word. This is an era of relying on the old man. Let's go. Okay. The two of them went to the fields on Shishan Hill. Miao Sanding felt something was wrong before he went up the hill. When he went up the hill, he kept frowning. Wang Yao didn't speak. He just stood quietly. Strange. Miao Sanding walked around the area a few times and then walked around Shishan Hill a few times. What do you think? These fields are really strange. It was the first time that Miao Sanding had encountered such a strange thing. They are very inconsistent with this hill. It's as if they are not part of the hill at all. It's as if they were inserted later. This was the feeling that the fields gave him. There is a very strange insect in the fields, Wang Yao said. There is a strange poison in it, and it is very fierce. Insect? Miao Sanding was shocked. Is it a poisonous insect? I'm not sure about that. I don't have much contact with poisonous insects, Wang Yao said. Maybe the smell here has something to do with the insect, Miao Sanding said. He circled around these areas and looked carefully. As he looked, he tried to think of a way to solve the problem. Okay, let's go to the nearby hill to have a look. Shishan Hill was only connected to Nanshan Hill, where Wang Yao lived. Nanshan Hill was naturally full of vitality. Good mountain, good feng shui, Miao Sanding praised. Wang Yao just smiled after hearing that. There was an array on this mountain, so it was naturally different from the others. Miao Sanding looked at Nanshan Hill and then looked at Shishan Hill. He pondered for a while. Maybe we can move part of the vitality of this hill to that hill, he said. Move the vitality? How? Wang Yao was very curious. Well, through the arrangement of feng shui, of course. This is just my personal guess. I'll arrange it on that hill first to accelerate the spread of the vitality in those places. Can't you plant trees nearby? Yes, but the premise is that the trees can survive. I can make them survive, Wang Yao said. In fact, he could basically determine the range of the poisonous soil through experiment. The bristlegrass and dandelions could withstand the toxins in the soil. That would be the best. The two of them then went down the mountain. Miao Sanding left first. He now had a general idea. As for some details, he still needed to think about it carefully. He didn't often make changes in feng shui arrangements and changes in this aspect. Chapter 741. Forcibly changing the feng shui of a place to create the so-called feng shui treasure land sounded very mysterious. For a feng shui master like Miao Sanding, it was something that combined theory with practical application. He had done it before, but at that time, he had designed the feng shui of a haunted house, which was completely different from this situation. Why don't you stay for dinner? No, I have to go back and think about it. Miao Sanding smiled and refused Wang Yao's request. He then left the mountain village. This is a person worth making friends with, Wang Yao thought. In his opinion, what kind of person was worth befriending? First of all, this person had to be a kind person without a bad heart. It sounded simple, but in today's society, if you looked at the people around you, there were fewer and fewer people who were truly kind. Second, this person had to have some shining points or some characteristics that could attract people. These 2 points were enough. After sending Miao Sanding away, Wang Yao went to Zhong Liuchuan's home. He was practicing what Wang Yao had taught him. Sir, how is your practice going? I just started, Zhong Liuchuan said. The method of expiratory breathing had changed the original natural breathing pattern. When he first started practicing, he naturally felt awkward. After a long time, he got used to it. Don't worry, this can't be rushed. Okay. The two of them chatted for a while. Wang Yao learned about Zhong Liuchuan's feelings when practicing. After confirming that he had no problems, he left. The road of practice was long. Bravery was only suitable for a certain stage. The whole process still had to be steady and steady. The result of rushing for success might be twice the effort for half the result. The sky gradually darkened and it was evening again. A car came to the north of the village and stopped. It did not enter the village. A man in his 40s got out of the car. He was of medium height and dressed in a slightly artistic style. He looked very attractive. He lit a cigarette and stood quietly at the entrance of the village, looking at the quiet mountain village in front of him. After smoking, he walked slowly into the mountain village. The cement road was not wide. It was troublesome for 2 cars to pass each other. On the west side of the road was a small river, which was less than 4 meters wide. Villagers were standing under the trees by the roadside. They were chatting and smoking, but they were all old people. The youngest one looked to be in his 40s. Every one of them was young. This man walked very slowly and looked very carefully. Interesting little village. He had been here once, but the last time he was in the car, so he only took a quick look. It was very calm and peaceful. This was his first impression of this mountain village. However, there don't seem to be many young people in the village. He walked slowly, as if he was taking a stroll. Woof, woof, woof. A dog stopped in front of him and barked at him. Hello, Goldie. Woof. Hee, he grinned, revealing his white teeth. Then, he waved at the dog and continued walking south. When he was about to reach the southern end of the village, he saw a young man in his 20s with a medium build. He didn't look special, but at a glance, he knew that this young man was extraordinary. Wang Yao. Before he came, he already knew that this young man was the most famous person in this village. Because of his superb medical skills, he was able to cure all diseases. He is so young. He was looking at the young man, and the young man was looking at him. Another one? Wang Yao smiled at the middle-aged man who was looking at him. The middle-aged man also smiled at him. Uncle, are you a foreigner? Ah. The cigarette in his mouth fell down. Uncle, am I that old? It's okay. I'm a foreigner. The middle-aged man picked up the cigarette that had just fallen from the ground, gently flicked it twice, and then continued to smoke. Don't waste it. This is good stuff. What are you doing here? Well, I was passing by and wanted to have a look, the man said with a smile. Have a look? Then leave quickly after you've seen it. The village doesn't welcome people like you, Wang Yao calmly said. Oh, why? The man was stunned. The smell on your body is very special. The smell of smoke can't be covered. Wang Yao pointed at him. Well, you can smell it? The man was stunned and then asked. I'm a doctor, so I'm very sensitive to smell. Well, I'll leave in a while. Okay. The two of them brushed past each other. The man's body suddenly stopped. Just now, he suddenly felt a unique warm breath between his chest and abdomen. It directly invaded his body from the outside to the inside. Was it an illusion? Definitely not. He knew his body very well. He stopped and turned around. He looked at the young man who didn't look back. Did you do it? What? Wang Yao stopped and turned to look at him. That kind of gentle invasion. The lazy look on the man's face disappeared. It was replaced by caution and seriousness. In such a situation, unknowingly, what kind of ability was it? Take a look and leave. After that, Wang Yao turned and left. The man took a deep breath. He took out a cigarette from his pocket, turned around, and continued to walk south. He crossed the river and came to the southwest corner of the village. There was a house with a green iron door. It was a little old. The paint had even peeled off in some places. The iron plate inside was rusty. Knock, knock, knock. He knocked on the door. Who is it? A man's voice came from inside. It's me. Huh? Zhong Luchuan opened the door. As soon as the door opened a crack, he slammed it 2 meters away. His hands shook and 2 sharp daggers appeared in his hands. His eyes were fixed on the man who was still standing outside the door. It was as if he was facing a great enemy. Don't be so nervous, the middle-aged man said with a smile as he pushed the door open. I was just passing by. I came to see you. What are you doing here? Zhong Luchuan asked. That madman died here, didn't he? Yes. Did you kill him? Yes. If you had the ability, you wouldn't be so afraid of me, the man said with a smile. It was just a coincidence. Coincidence? Or did someone help you? Zhong Luchuan didn't continue the conversation. He was considering whether to take the initiative to attack. I'm not here to kill you today, the man said. Put away your knife. That man is right. I don't smell good. I'm curious. Is your smell good? Smell? Zhong Luchuan was stunned. He understood the meaning of the man's words. He should have met Mr. Wang. His unique breath had been noticed by Mr. Wang. Ah, a guest is visiting, the man said. You should at least make a cup of tea. I've walked a lot. Wait a moment. Zhong Luchuan faced the middle-aged man and retreated into the room. He came out with a tea tray in one hand. Please. He didn't dare to have the slightest carelessness. This man's ability and experience were above that of the madman. He was more difficult to deal with. He was definitely not as harmless as he looked. Well, this tea is not bad. Zhong Luchuan took a sip and sighed. Let's talk. He finished the tea and poured himself a full cup. Talk about what? This mountain village is very good, Zhong Luchuan said. It's very peaceful and auspicious. How did you find such a village? It's a coincidence. Are there any houses in this village? Huh. Zhong Luchuan was stunned. If there were, I would also want to buy one and live here, the middle-aged man said with a smile. Ah, it would be best if it was next to you. There are empty houses in the village, Zhong Luchuan said. The people next door will move to the city next month. Ah, really? Of course. Well, let me think about it. How much? 4 rooms and a courtyard, the middle-aged man said. 80,000 yuan. Is it that cheap? Yes. If one only listened to the conversation between the two people, it would feel like they were two old friends. Let's talk about something else? Okay. Zhong Luchuan always maintained a high level of vigilance. What do you know that makes those people so nervous? The middle-aged man asked. Would you believe me if I said I didn't know? What do you think? Actually, I really didn't see anything, Zhong Luchuan said with a wry smile. Oh, that's difficult, the middle-aged man said. You know the rules of the company, especially people like us. Although we said we left, if the company needs us, we still have to try our best to cooperate. Chapter 742. To be honest, I didn't want to be like this. He raised his hand and scratched his head. I don't care about the things you know, Wang Yao said. In fact, I want to know how you killed that madman. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Hey, is there a guest? Wait a moment. Zhong Luchuan was always facing him. Even when he went to open the door, he walked backward. He had never fought with this person, but he had heard of him. A person's name was like a tree's shadow. It was never wrong to be careful. Look at you, Zhong Luchuan said. You are too careful. Who is it? Zhong Luchuan shouted through the iron door. It's me, Luchuan. Wang Yao's voice came from outside. Sir? As soon as he heard the voice, Zhong Luchuan immediately opened the door. At the same time, the previous tension and feeling of facing a formidable enemy dissipated a lot. Well, what's going on? The man sitting there drinking tea was very surprised. The changes in Zhong Luchuan's body naturally could not escape his eyes. Changes in mood would cause some changes in the body, which he could not even notice. Sir, this is not an ordinary address. When the door was opened, the person who came in made him stunned. It's you? Sure enough, you are here. Wang Yao looked at the man. He called you sir? The man was somewhat puzzled. Yes, is there a problem? Zhong Luchuan asked. Sir, a teacher? Well, you can say that, Wang Yao said with a smile. What do you teach him? The man asked. Why should I tell you this? Wang Yao sat down. Zhong Luchuan poured him a cup of tea. At this moment, his body was much more relaxed. Although it wasn't completely relaxed, it was completely different from the tensed-up state he was in just a moment ago. Tell me about you, Zhong Luchuan said. What are you doing here? I'm here to see an old friend. The middle-aged man looked at Zhong Luchuan with a smile. How should I address you? Zhong Luchuan asked. My surname is Jia Zizai, the middle-aged man said with a smile. Is that so? As I said, Mr. Jia's smell is a little heavy, Zhong Luchuan said. It's not suitable for you to come to this village. Leave quickly. The smell on my body is heavy. As for him, it's just a little worse than mine. Jia Zizai pointed to Zhong Luchuan and asked. At the same time, he was secretly vigilant. He thought, what kind of ability does this young man have to make Zhong Luchuan trust him so much? Could it be that the death of the madman has something to do with him? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that this possibility was very high. The smell on his body has dissipated a lot, and he has stopped. Wang Yao calmly poured a cup of tea for Mr. Jia. Tea, please. Thank you. Drink this cup of tea and leave. Don't come back again, Wang Yao said calmly. Hey, I like this mountain village, Jia Zizai said with a smile. I just asked Luchuan if there are any vacant houses here. I want to buy one. Without seeing the other party's means, how could he know if the other party was just bluffing? No matter what, he had to try. Moreover, the other party was too young. At such a young age, what kind of ability could he have? Very good. Wang Yao suddenly raised his hand and pressed the void. Crack! The wooden stool under the man's buttocks suddenly shattered. With a thud, the man sat on the ground with his muscles tight. He suddenly felt a huge force squeezing him from all directions, mainly from above. It was so big that he couldn't resist it. The key was that he didn't know how to resist it. His whole body was tightly bound. He couldn't move at all. Even breathing was difficult. What kind of means is this? Is it a superpower? His face changed. No wonder he dared to say such things, Jiazizai said. No wonder the madman died here. No wonder Zhong Luchuan stayed here. He knew there was danger and that the company would arrange for other people to come, but he didn't leave. It's because of this person. Sir, are you learning this ability from him? Since you want to stay, then stay, Wang Yao said with a smile. He patted a few places on the man's body. The internal force entered the man's body. He suddenly collapsed to the ground, feeling weak all over. I'll leave it to you, Luchuan, Wang Yao said. No one lives in the house next door. Got it, sir, Jiazizai said. After that, Zhong Luchuan took Jiazizai to the house next door and tied him up. At the same time, he took out all his things. The company knows I'm here. Zhong Luchuan paused for a moment before continuing. This mountain village is really good, Jiazizai said. Your husband is indeed powerful, but no matter how powerful he is only one person. Many ants can kill an elephant. What do you want to say? Let me go, Jiazizai said. The company will never send anyone here again. Do you think I believe that? Zhong Luchuan tied him up very tightly. I'm sorry to have wronged you, Zhong Luchuan said. Stay here for a while. That night was very long for Jiazizai. Well, this village is really very quiet, Jiazizai whispered as he lay on the Kong. He had used all his means just now, but he still had no strength. It was as if he had eaten the legendary Shixiang tendon weakening powder. In fact, even if Zhong Luchuan had not tied him up so tightly, he would not have been able to escape. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao found several kinds of medicine. After a few days, he felt that he should configure some other drugs. Not only could it be used to treat people and strengthen their bodies, but it could also be used to prepare some drugs with special effects, such as poisons. It just so happens that someone came to test the medicine. Wang Yao smiled. He thought about it until midnight before turning off the lights and going to bed. The next morning, the sun rose early. It was another hot day. Let's talk. Jiazizai asked Zhong Luchuan, who had come to deliver food and water to him. Okay, what do you want to talk about? Ask your teacher what it takes to let me go, Jiazizai said. Okay, I'll ask him in the morning, Zhong Luchuan said. Eat something first. After a night, he was still weak. It was as if his body did not belong to him. It was not under his control at all. Thank you, Jiazizai said. You are quite optimistic, Zhong Luchuan said with a smile. What can I do? Jiazizai asked. By the way, what did your teacher use? Was it a supernatural ability or something else? Kung Fu, Zhong Luchuan said. What? Kung Fu can reach such a level? Jiazizai obviously did not believe him. I am telling the truth, Zhong Luchuan said. In the morning, Zhong Luchuan went to Wang Yao's place. Don't worry, Wang Yao said with a smile. I still have a use for him. Okay. Since Wang Yao said he was useful, he would be useful. He just needed to take a good look at him. Xianqiluo can be used. When there were no patients, Wang Yao thought about what had happened the night before. The flower had a strange poison. It made people feel powerless and hot all over. It could cause hallucinations. He could be a king, then a minister, an assistant, and an assistant. There are several other medicines that I can consider. Then, I can directly use them to make medicine and experiment. While he was thinking, a patient came to see him. Naturally, he had to temporarily put down the work in his hands. In Jing, thousands of miles away, uncle, is there no other way? Looking at her son's increasingly thin appearance, the woman was very distressed. She had gone to several hospitals in Jing and invited famous doctors and experts from both the Chinese and Western sections. However, they all said that there was no way. Let me think about it again, Li Xingrong said. In fact, he also knew that the best opportunity had been wasted by the mother and daughter, the young doctor in the mountain village. Ah, she sighed. It's all the Sun family's fault. Her son's pain made her very angry with the family in Dao. Regardless of whether the matter was done by the other party or not, since the grudge had been formed, it could not be easily resolved. Only the Sun family had the best motive and the geographical advantage. My son is not feeling well, and I must not let them have a good time. The woman could not control herself for her son. Mom, are you sure? Her eldest son was obviously more stable. This was also related to the fact that he had been working in the ministries and commissions over the years. The cultivation of the family was an innate advantage, but his own efforts were also necessary. Otherwise, he would not be able to support himself. Chapter 743. Of course I'm sure, the woman said. Your brother is like this. Who else in Dao would have the guts to do that? Well, let me think about it, Wang Yao said. After all, the Sun family was a big family. Although they were in business, the relationships and connections involved were naturally intricate when it came to such a scale. How could it be explained in a sentence? In fact, he felt that he had gone overboard with the previous matter. Although the two families had some conflicts, it shouldn't be to this extent. Moreover, their whole family's ambition should be more far-reaching and more tolerant. After he went out, he sighed. He had to discuss this matter with his father. If it was not handled well, it would be an invisible knife to knife. It would not be good for anyone to be forced to that extent. Who could guarantee that the other party did not have a trump card? When two tigers fought, one was bound to be injured. It was also possible that both sides would be injured. When the clam and the clam fought, the fishermen would benefit. Perhaps there was a push behind the scenes that they had not thought of. In the mountain village, Wang Yao's family was watching the weather forecast after dinner. There is a strong wind coming. The weather forecast showed that a typhoon would pass through Qi province. The area that it passed through would have strong winds, thunder, and lightning. Are the trees you just planted okay? Zhang Xiuying knew that her son had planted a lot of trees not long ago. There should be no problem, Wang Yao said. Although it was said that the typhoon would pass through, it should not be the core area. It came from the southern sea. By the time it reached Qi province, the central wind would weaken by several levels. Moreover, there was a battle array on Nanshan Hill. It should not be a big problem. The next morning, Miao Sanding came to the mountain village and found Wang Yao. He brought the plan he had designed. After listening to his explanation, Wang Yao carefully considered it. He referred to the layout of the feng shui of the yang and yin houses and artificially changed the feng shui of these places. He changed the feng shui of the entire Xishan Hill in the way of soil, stones, trees, and pools. It was not a small work. You have introduced water here, but have you ever considered that this may cause the spread of the toxins? Wang Yao pointed to the layout map he provided. I've thought about this, but there's a premise. Like you said last time, the source has been blocked. Then, this water is flowing water. It leads to the spring water on Nanshan Hill, then flows down the mountain and into the river in the village. This is actually flowing water that doesn't rot. It also uses the flowing water to take away the death aura on the mountain and dilute it. Well, I can't guarantee that the source has been cut off, so we have to be careful when we pour the water into other places, Wang Yao said. The current situation was that most of the insects in these places had been eliminated, but the possibility of one or two of them escaping was very high. Wang Yao didn't dare to guarantee that there would be no problems. Therefore, this plan had a certain degree of risk. If there was a risk, then it couldn't be used. Are those insects afraid of water? Miao Sanding asked. Afraid of water, Wang Yao said. He had also done experiments on this. After the whole insect was soaked in water, it would die in a short time. If this plan doesn't work, we can only use another plan. Miao Sanding then said the second plan. The difference between this plan and the first plan was that there was no water, but there were more trees. The role of these trees was to block the wind. Last time, when I was on Shishan Hill, I felt that the wind in this place was very strong. Miao Sanding pointed to a place. Yes, this is a wind gap, Wang Yao said. He grew up in the village, so he knew about the obvious abnormalities on the mountain. There was indeed a place on Shishan Hill where the wind was particularly strong. It was like this all year round. That was a naturally formed wind gap. The wind was invisible, and the world was vast. However, Wang Yao felt that this was a bit unrealistic. We can try it, he said after thinking for a while. Well, let's try it. Miao Sanding secretly breathed a sigh of relief. How many trees do you choose? I'll contact them. I haven't carefully calculated this, Miao Sanding said. It's best to determine it while planting. Okay. Afterward, Wang Yao called Li Xiu and asked for trees. Plant more? He liked this high-quality customer very much and was very cooperative. However, in his impression, Fang Ruiping had planted a lot of trees on Nanshan Hill. He really couldn't figure out why he was in a hurry to get so many trees. Although he was confused, he immediately began to prepare. That was money. Thousands of miles away in Jing, a guest came to the Su family's house. I'll have to trouble you with this matter, sister-in-law. I can only say that I'm just asking. His rules are a bit strange, Song Ruiping said with a smile. Today's visitor made her a little surprised. Although they were both in the capital and didn't live particularly far from each other, the Ho family and the Su family rarely interacted with each other. This was because the two families had different views, or it could be said that they didn't belong to the same faction. She didn't expect that the madam of the Ho family would come today, and the purpose of her visit was also unexpected. It was for her son. Her son had a strange disease and had sought treatment everywhere. Knowing that Wang Yao's medical skills were extraordinary, she specially came to ask for help. Oh, I know. After drinking a cup of tea and chatting for a while, the woman left. Seek treatment? Song Ruiping pondered for a while. Since the woman had come to visit, she had to help. However, for the person who might become the son-in-law of the Su family in the future, she was actually somewhat helpless. That boy's rules were a bit strange. Through the conversation just now, she was basically sure that the mother and son must have gone there to find Wang Yao. However, for some reason, they were rejected. This was the reason for the trouble. A bad impression had been planted. It would take a lot of effort to change it. Moreover, she had heard a little about the virtue of the third son of the Ho family. She felt that he was a playboy who relied on the power of his family to do a lot of bad things. It's troublesome. What's the trouble, Mom? Her voice was like a lark's. My good daughter is back. As soon as she saw Su Xiaoxue come back, Song Ruiping immediately put this matter aside. In her opinion, nothing was more important than her family. How come you have time to come back today? I finished the courses at school, so I've been quite free these 2 days, Su Xiaoxue replied with a smile. Sit down and drink some water. Is it hot? Song Ruiping asked with concern. It's not hot, Su Xiaoxue replied with a smile. In fact, the temperature in Jing was very high. It had rained a few days ago. Then, it became hot in the sky, so the air humidity would be very high. It was a typical sauna day. This kind of weather was the most uncomfortable. It was different from pure dry heat. In such weather, people felt like they were in a steamer. Even their perspiration would be affected to a certain extent. However, Su Xiaoxue was different. She was a person of practice. Her physical fitness had gone from being on the verge of death to being healthier than ordinary people. Although she still could not reach the level of being impervious to cold and heat like Wang Yao, this kind of hot weather did not have a big impact on her. What do you want to do these 2 days? I want to go to Dr. Wang's place to have a look, Su Xiaoxue said. She had not seen Wang Yao for some time. She missed him. Ah! Song Ruiping was shocked. What are you going to do there on such a hot day? When people dated, it was always the man who chased the woman. It was not like her silly girl, who was so close to Wang Yao. It's not hot, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Besides, I'll be there soon by plane. Okay, let Chu Lian go with you. Song Ruiping was still worried about her daughter being alone. Okay. When are you leaving? This afternoon, Su Xiaoxue said. I checked. There are flights to Dao. Hey girl, I'll make you something you like to eat at noon. I think you're a little thin. I'm not thin, Su Xiaoxue said. I can't be too fat. Girls don't look good when they're fat. By the way, I want to tell you something. Song Ruiping briefly told her daughter what had just happened. I'll ask Dr. Wang. Ho Shida's reputation doesn't seem to be very good, right? Su Xiaoxue asked another question. She was not the kind of bookworm who only read books. She still knew some news. Well, don't take it too seriously, Song Ruiping said. It's fine if he doesn't want to treat him. I think the mother and son must have been there and were refused treatment. Okay, I see. After a few words with her mother, Su Xiaoxue went upstairs to her room and called Wang Yao. Xiaoxue, don't you have class? Wang Yao was in the clinic. After receiving her call, he immediately stopped what he was doing and asked softly. No, today's class is over, Su Xiaoxue said. Are you still busy? Yes, I'm in the clinic. Haven't you been out these days? Su Xiaoxue asked. I went out 2 days ago to Hangzhou, Wang Yao said. I don't think I'll go out these days. Hangzhou? What did you go there for? Su Xiaoxue asked. I went to subdue demons, Wang Yao said with a smile. On the other end of the phone, Su Xiaoxue's eyes lit up when she heard Wang Yao say that. Really? Of course, it's true. When you have time, please tell me more about it, Su Xiaoxue said. She didn't tell Wang Yao that she was going to the mountain village the next day. She wanted to give him a surprise. Okay. After chatting for a while, they hung up the phone. Wang Yao returned to the clinic and continued to see patients. That evening, Wang Yao was still at home. He had just finished dinner when he heard someone knocking on the door. Who is it? Usually, when someone knocked on the door, they would come in. He went out to open the door. When he walked to the door, he smelled a familiar scent. After opening the door, he saw the fairy-like person who seemed to have walked out of a painting. Dr. Wang. Xiaoxue, why are you here? Wang Yao was very happy. I don't have class for the next 2 days, Su Xiaoxue said. I want to listen to you tell me the story of how you subdued demons with the Taoist masters on Longhu Mountain in Hangzhou. Chapter 744. Come in, Su Xiaoxue said. Did you come alone? Wang Yao asked. No, Auntie Lian came with me, Su Xiaoxue said. She went to the small courtyard over there to clean up. Wang Yao's parents were very happy to see Su Xiaoxue. They were busy making tea, washing fruit, and asking questions. The whole family was in high spirits until 9:30 p.m. Dad, Mom, Xiaoxue came here by plane. She must be tired. Let her go back to rest. We'll talk tomorrow, Wang Yao said after looking at the time. Okay, go back to sleep. Is it hot there? Zhang Xiuying was very thoughtful. It's not very hot, Auntie. I installed the air conditioner last time I came. That's good, Zhang Xiuying said. Yao, walk Xiaoxue out, Wang Fenghua said. Okay, Zhang Xiuying said. The night was very quiet. At this time, no one in the village was outside. They were all at home. Most of them had fallen asleep. The two of them walked side by side on the quiet road. The mountain wind was blowing gently. Just 2 days? Su Xiaoxue asked. Yes, Su Xiaoxue said. It should be summer vacation, right? Su Xiaoxue asked. My classes have been slightly delayed. They'll be back in a few days, Su Xiaoxue said. She had missed some classes because of her illness. Now she needed to make up for it. The study at Yen University was very intensive, so there were more corresponding classes. Remember to tell me when you're back. Okay, I will, Su Xiaoxue said. The village was not big. Wang Yao arrived home. He was only a few rows away from Su Xiaoxue's house. It only took him a few minutes to get there. Hello. Chu Lian walked out of the room after hearing the sound of the door opening. Hello, Auntie Lian, Wang Yao said. Come in and have a seat, Chu Lian said. Because of the rain a few days ago, the house was a little damp. The smell was a bit special. It's a little damp in the house, Wang Yao said. Well, it's okay. The air conditioner is on. It'll be fine in a while, Su Xiaoxue said. The conditions here were not as good as those in Jing, but she didn't think it was a big deal. There were also things here that Beijing didn't have. The most important thing was that there was someone she liked. Shall I decorate this small courtyard with you tomorrow? Wang Yao suddenly had a flash of inspiration. He could arrange the small courtyard where Su Xiaoxue lived like his medical center and form a simple battle array. In this way, the air situation here would be much better. Sure, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Chu Lian sat quietly and didn't say anything. After the two young people chatted for a while, Wang Yao left. He did not go home, but went to Nanshan Hill. That night, the weather suddenly changed. Strong winds blew and thunder rumbled. In the latter half of the night, heavy rain poured down. Splash! The water level in the small river in the mountain village soared. The wind on Nanshan Hill was much stronger than usual, making the leaves rustle. San Xian, I'll go out and take a look. In the middle of the night, Wang Yao got up and went out of the room. After San Xian heard the sound, Chong came out of his kennel and came to him. You stay here. At this time, it was the time when the storm was at its fiercest. The strong wind blew the raindrops away. However, all of these stopped about a foot away from Wang Yao. He walked in the wind and rain. There was not a single drop of rain around him. He was a little worried about the trees that had just been planted. After all, they were not on Nanshan Hill or in the battle array. He went to Dongshan Hill. The wind there was much stronger than on Nanshan Hill, but the newly planted trees still resisted the wind and rain tenaciously because appropriate reinforcement measures had been taken. The trees' crowns were not high, so they did not attract the wind. After leaving Dongshan Hill, he went to the foot of the mountain. Because of the obstruction of the mountain, the wind there was less than on Nanshan Hill. The trees there had been planted for a longer time, so they were not a big problem. He then went to Shishan Hill. The trees on Shishan Hill were not a big problem, so he was relieved and went back to Nanshan Hill. Along the way, the trees he planted were not a big problem, but the crops in the field were in trouble. Some large areas fell down. Alas, he could only sigh when he saw the situation. Such a large area of weather was not something he could change. In fact, farming did rely on the weather to make a living. The wind and rain did not stop all night. The next morning, it was not as fierce as last night. Wang Yao went down the mountain early. During the 2 days that Su Xiaoxue was here, he wanted to accompany her. He had announced the closure of the clinic through Weibo the night before. After returning home, he found that his mother had already prepared a table of rich breakfast. Wow, breakfast is so sumptuous! Xiaoxue, don't you want to eat with us? Zhang Xiaoying asked. She got up very early to prepare breakfast for her future daughter-in-law. Breakfast? No, it's still raining outside, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, we'll eat by ourselves. After breakfast, Wang Yao went to Su Xiaoxue's residence. Sir, Do you still want to decorate the courtyard when it rains? It's raining. Let's make a plan first, Wang Yao said with a smile. What kind of plants do you like? Plants, bamboo, orchids, violets. Su Xiaoxue listed several kinds of plants, which were all her favorite. Well, Wang Yao wrote all these down. Then, he found a piece of paper and drew a floor plan of the small courtyard. With the experience of decorating his clinic last time, the plan this time was basically based on the previous one. He only made some changes in some small places. The types of plants were different from those in his clinic. It's almost done. A simple layout plan came out. Of course, it was only the shape and text annotations. Wang Yao carefully explained it to Su Xiaoxue according to the plan. Is this a battle array? Su Xiaoxue asked curiously. Kind of, Wang Yao said with a smile. The courtyard of the house she bought had been treated with cement, so to plant these things, she needed to break the ground again, which could not be solved in a day. How is it? Are you satisfied with this arrangement? Yes, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. How could she not like things arranged by the person she liked? Well, give me a key to the gate, Wang Yao said. I'll decorate it for you when I'm free. Okay. She gave Wang Yao a set of keys to the house. She had already prepared them. Sir, can you tell me more about fighting demons? Okay, Wang Yao said. Chu Lian had already brewed a pot of tea. Wang Yao talked about his trip to Hangzhou. Su Xiaoxue was very fascinated. Chu Lian's eyes were also shining. Unexpectedly, such strange things really existed in the world. The two of them had heard about these things in movies and novels. They had never experienced it in real life, so they could not help but feel strange and absurd. By the way, I also want photos. Wang Yao took out his mobile phone and showed them the photos he had taken at that time. This is an evil ghost, Su Xiaoxue said. The evil ghost is in charge of the road to prevent outsiders from entering, Wang Yao said. On the door of the tomb, there are protectors to prevent the ghosts from coming out. All kinds of strange and magical things could not be imagined without personal experience. It turns out that there are ghosts in the world, Su Xiaoxue said. At least I've seen it. Wang Yao said. He used to think that these things were just fabrications. After experiencing it himself, he realized that many things in the world were not just legend. They really existed. This experience was very exciting. Wang Yao described it in detail. I also want to meet him, Su Xiaoxue said. She still wanted to see more. No, Chu Lian hurriedly said. This thing is too dangerous, Su Xiaoxue said. It can't be judged by common sense. If they were ordinary villains, they could still use hand-to-hand combat or firearms to subdue them. However, for these things that could not be seen or touched, firearms were obviously ineffective. I'm just saying, Su Xiaoxue said. Auntie Lian, you don't have to be so nervous. Besides, this kind of situation is very rare in reality. Maybe you won't encounter it once in your life. You'd better not encounter it in your life, Chu Lian said. They chatted and drank tea. Before they knew it, it was noon. It's noon. Let's go to my house for lunch. Auntie Lian, do you want to join us? No thanks, Su Xiaoxue said. Wang Yao had invited her the previous 2 times, but she had rejected both of them. It was the same this time. Let's go together, Auntie Lian, Wang Yao said. You guys go ahead. I'll eat by myself. In the end, she did not want to go with them. Zhang Xiuying prepared a more sumptuous lunch. It was only for 4 people, but she had prepared 16 dishes. Isn't it too much? Su Xiaoxue asked. Not much, not much. Sit down and eat. What would you like to drink? Wang Yao asked with a smile. Anything. Juice. Okay. During lunch, Zhang Xiuying kept putting food on Su Xiaoxue's plate. Thank you, Auntie Lian, Su Xiaoxue said. The rain was still falling on the roof, but the family in the house was happy and harmonious. After lunch, the two of them went out with an umbrella. Sir, move over to your side, Su Xiaoxue said. Your clothes are wet. It's okay. I'm not afraid of the rain. Oh, I got it. Wang Yao put away the umbrella and released his neishi to wrap Su Xiaoxue in it. The wind was still blowing, and the rain was still falling, but it was blocked by an invisible barrier around the two of them. It's amazing! Su Xiaoxue exclaimed. Haha, it's just releasing neishi, Wang Yao said. You can do it if you practice hard. Okay. The two of them went to the clinic and talked for the whole afternoon. They talked about the present, the future, career, life, anecdotes, and fun. They talked about everything. By the way, before I came here, my mother asked me to ask you something. Can you treat a person? Who? Wang Yao asked. A playboy named Ho Shida, Su Xiaoxue said. Him. Wang Yao was stunned. He did not expect Ho Shida's family to have found the Su family. This person is a scumbag, Wang Yao said. His illness has something to do with me. What? Su Xiaoxue was stunned. Wang Yao told her about his trip to Dao in detail. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.